Driving that one forward, finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores! Cole Bodwin!
Welcome to the Dow Event Center in Saginaw, Michigan, as we get ready for tonight's game between the Barrie Colts and the Saginaw Spirit. I'm your host, Mike Poirier, joined alongside Josh McCann. And Josh, last night's game at the Dordt and Flint, that was a nail-biter for the Barrie Colts. Down 3-1 going into the third period, found a way to come back. Down again by 2, but come back and win in overtime. What a game it was last night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the words I used last night, if you didn't hear it, was I had a lot of things I expected from that third period. I didn't count the Barrie Colts out. I thought they still had a chance in that game, but I didn't have what happened on my bingo card. I mean, the first 40 minutes for the Colts, it wasn't a good effort at all. They really struggled. It was all Flint through 2 periods, and it was one of the Barrie Colts' worst efforts in a while, and that's mainly because they've been playing so good in basically every game. They compete in every game. They're close in every game, even when they lose. But last night felt different through the first 2 periods, but then Dylan Smoskowitz switches up the lines. Mason Sebeski through the top line. Ben Wilmot to the second line. Ends up only rolling 9 forwards there for most of the third period, and things start to work out. They get it back to 3-3, but then after that, of course, you mentioned Flint gets the 2 goals. Barry's able to respond with 1, but then a big penalty by Nicholas Desiderio. The Colts are shorthanded for the rest of the period, and somehow, some way, they fight back into it. What a play by Justin Hanser to send that across to Ben Wilmot, and then, of course, Emil Hemming with a beautiful finish. What a play there, dangling through 2 Firebirds defenders to win it.
Now, you mentioned that Dylan Smoskowitz changing up the lines there, especially in the third period. Some of those changes have carried over. We now see Mason Zabeski on the top line with Cole Bodwin and Emil Hemming, while Ben Wilmot dropping to the second line. But with the way this team is built, it really doesn't matter where you are in the lineup. As long as you're playing Barrie Colt hockey that we hear a lot from Dylan Smoskowitz, he's going to roll the lines. He's going to put the players out there that can contribute. And that was evident last night against the Firebirds.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I talked to Emil Hemming pregame, and we kind of joked about the fact that it didn't take long to get used to having Mason Sebeski on your line. You scored 13 seconds into the period. I mean, what a switch there by Dylan Smoskowitz, though. Just a small change to try and get a spark going underneath his team, and it works out. Cole Bodwin leading the charge there, driving that puck to the net, and Sebeski getting his first as Barrie Colt. Like you mentioned, they're going to keep the lines that they had in the third period there going forward into today. And then, of course, they're going 11-7 for the first time in a while with Nicholas Desiderio out and a couple players not on the road trip right now. Ethan Armstrong going to come on in, and it's going to split between forward and defense, as Dylan Smoskowitz mentions in your interview.
Yeah, and we found out that because of the hit from Nicholas Desiderio on Chris Thibodeau last night, it is a minimum of a 2-game suspension. So we should get the official word come Monday. But for tonight's game, no Desiderio. So Ethan Armstrong, he comes up. He's put on the 4th line, but he'll likely get some time up front. But then he'll also be able to help out on the back end because Armstrong, of course, the defenseman for the Barrie Colts, the extra defenseman. So it's even though it's going to be a new look here, no Desiderio, Armstrong in. It's that next man up mentality, and we've seen that quite a bit here from the Barrie Colts this season.
Well, again, like we've mentioned a couple times, one of the best parts of the Barrie Colts trade deadline was the fact that they really didn't give up too many players. Bode Stewart we're going to see tonight, and then Alex Asadorian and Sam Black were the only 3 out the door. So there's still a lot of depth for the Barrie Colts, especially on the back end. None of those guys were taken out. A new player was added in Parker Von Richter to a Barrie Colts defense that was already rolling and switching through 7 guys. So Ethan Armstrong, he hasn't played since January 3rd. Teak Vader was in a similar situation last week when Justin Hanser was out of the lineup for a game, and I thought Vader looked pretty good, so hopefully Armstrong can do the same thing, next man up. And, of course, everything in the Ontario Hockey League is a tryout, so for Ethan Armstrong, he wants to prove to Dylan Smoskowitz, hey, if Evan Passmore goes down tonight, if Gabriel Eliasson can't play in a certain game, then I should be the next guy coming in and continuing to prove that to get some more minutes down the stretch.
Now, with Brantford and Ottawa both winning last night, the Barrie Colts still 5 points out of first in the Eastern Conference standings. So a big game here against the Saginaw Spirit, who won in Barrie in overtime. It was a 2-1 final back in November. So this is a Saginaw Spirit team that they've got the offensive firepower up front. The problem for Saginaw this season has been keeping those shots down, as Shurigan, one of the busiest goaltenders in the Ontario Hockey League, He's been steady, but he can't keep them all out, and that's been the problem this year for Saginaw.
Yeah, an 894 save percentage for Schuergen coming into tonight's game. And, like you mentioned, very busy in kind of two aspects. He's faced the most shots of any goaltender in the NHL, and he's also played in 40 games already this season for the Saginaw Spirit. Their backup, Caleb Papineau, an 829 save percentage on the season, and he's only played 10 games for Saginaw. So but Barrie Colts netminder Ben Horevic didn't get the start last night. He's in the lineup tonight. He'll be well rested coming off his last start last Sunday. But for Schuergen, that's a guy that just played last night. Faced 42 shots last night against the Sarnia Sting in a loss. So maybe he gets a bit tired. I mean, the one thing about a back-to-back here for both teams, the Barrie Colts, maybe they get a bit tired near the end of this game. They're going to be able to rely on a rested Ben Horevic, where for Saginaw, Schuergen, he's right in it with the players. He's just as tired as them.
And of course, there's also the former Barrie Colt, Bode Stewart, playing for the Saginaw Spirit. Only one goal since the trade, but watching the warm-up there, Stewart kind of keeping his distance from his former teammates. There was a couple of interactions there during the warm-up, but you got to figure a guy like Bode Stewart will be pretty excited to take on his former team.
Yeah, we saw him before the game with a couple of players while we were hounding Dylan Smoskowitz for an interview. But yeah, for Bode Stewart, I mean, he had some solid moments as a Barrie Colt. I don't think he maybe got to the full potential we believed he could get to. I thought he had a really good first season, and then he came out flying last season, getting assist after assist after assist, but then never really added the goal-scoring aspect to his game. And that carried over into this season, only 3 goals with the Barrie Colts. And unfortunately for them, it just became a numbers game for Bode Stewart. And like Marty Williamson mentioned at the trade deadline, Bode Stewart was given the option, okay, do you want to play for the Barrie Colts here down the stretch and probably a 4th-minute role, or I can help you out. I can send you to another team that's going to give you the minutes that you're probably looking for. And Bode Stewart, obviously a guy that, you know what, he doesn't have that NHL draft pick. He's a free agent right now, so obviously he's going to want to play more minutes. He goes to Saginaw, a team that's going to give him some minutes. He's on the 3rd line tonight. He's had some opportunities up on that top line, but as of right now, Saginaw stacking up that top line.
And of course, Bode Stewart started his OHL career playing for the Saginaw Spirit. But we're going to take a moment to go and catch up with our conversation with Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz with the Coach's Corner presented by Mariposa School of Skating.
Catching up with Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz. A wild night in Flint last night against the Firebirds. First 2 periods seemed like Flint was in control, but your team found a new gear in that 3rd period. What were your overall thoughts on that one?
We did. We found our gear. I think that's the right way to word it is, we let Flint play how we wanted to play in the first 2 periods. They won races to pucks. They were faster than us. They hit harder than us. They played more aggressive than we did. And we just had enough of watching that. So we kind of, as a group, we had a good chat after the 2nd period. It might have got a little bit heated in the room, but I think it was well-deserved. And the guys understood. They understood the message, and it was really well-received. Again, I was very proud of the response. But as you play games deeper in the season, as you play better teams, you have to start like that. You have to start like that, and you have to finish like that. You can't have these little spurts. I mean, 40 minutes is ridiculous. You can't even have a 10-minute spell where you're the softer team or the slower team. Otherwise, you won't be able to come back. So, good learning experience, but a really exciting way to get 2 points.
And there's a couple moments in that 3rd period. Calvin Crombie, that snipe from the tight angle. I didn't even know how he managed to get that one top shelf. But, Crombie, Wilmot in that 3rd period, they were standouts yesterday.
They definitely were. Cal Crombie's goal was great, and I've seen him work on that shot in practice, so kudos to him for putting the time in. I know that he was watching the highlight of himself in his hotel room because it woke his roommate up, Carter Lowe. He just kept hearing it on repeat, so he was pretty pumped about that goal. But Benny Wilmot, I'll tell you, our assistant coach, Patrick Sexton, he does the D and does the PK. When we knew we were going to go down 5-on-4 for that 5-minute major, still down a goal, he kind of rejigged some stuff, be more aggressive, take more chances, and it really worked out. So Benny Wilmot and a bunch of other guys understood the game plan perfectly, and Patty explained it really well. And it was a pretty exciting way to tie a game up shorthanded like that.
And then Hemming with that highlight of the night, splits the D in overtime, top shelf. You can't write it any better than that.
No, you can't. And I didn't know how it was going to work. Usually on a 3-on-3, you don't want to attack 1-on-3. You want to use your teammates and buy some time and wait for a breakdown. Hem saw his opening, he took it, and I'm going to trust that guy. He's much better at hockey than I ever was or ever will be. So when he sees something, he's going to go with it, and we're going to have his back. And he had our back by putting that puck in the back of the net.
Now getting ready for a Saginaw Spirit team that's middle of the pack in the Western Conference. Their offense, it can be lethal, but the goals against and the shots against has been a problem for Saginaw. So obviously you don't want to overlook this team, but you know this has a lot of potential.
It does, and it's something that we need to focus on and kind of correct here quickly. We've always prided ourselves in being a defensively sound team, but you look at our last 2 games, it's 12 goals against, which is very out of character for us and something we want to correct immediately. A tough test against a Saginaw team who likes to score, likes to play high offensive games, stuff like that. So it'll be a good test for us tonight, but the key for us and the name of the game is defense first.
So no Nicholas Desiderio tonight because of the match penalty yesterday. So a bit of a lineup adjustment here, but still, we've talked about it before. You've got confidence in the 24 guys, so it's not really going to change too much here.
It's not going to change too much. You know, it's just bad timing with Nick getting the suspension. Jonah McCormick's at home just kind of nursing an injury, and Luke Gouvreau was a little bit under the weather, so they don't want to take him on the bus for the road trip and risk other guys getting sick. So Ethan Armstrong's going to slot in. Might see some shifts as a forward, might see some shifts as a defenseman. We have confidence in him to play both positions. So, you know, again, next guy up mentality, and we're ready to rock and roll.
So that was Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz in the Mariposa School of Skating coach's corner. And Dylan touched on it there. He has those high expectations of the 24 players on this team, and it's that next man up mentality. So with Desiderio coming out of the lineup, he's confident and comfortable with a player like Armstrong. Even though he may naturally be a defenseman, he knows what to expect. He has that type of game where you know Barrie Colt hockey, and so he'll expect that playing on that fourth line.
Yeah, and for Ethan Armstrong, like we mentioned before that interview, I mean, he hasn't played since January 3rd, so it'll be interesting to see if he's up to the task. If he's a bit rusty, it may take him a minute to get things going, but once he gets going, he's a solid player. And at the end of the day, you know, the Barrie Colts, they haven't gotten the most out of him offensively yet. He's been more defensive-minded, but I don't mind his shot. So I think maybe an opportunity here to play a bit of forward could give him a nice opportunity here to maybe get some offense going, maybe get a goal, maybe get a point, and maybe that gets him going down the stretch here.
So the 2 teams are out on the ice now. They're doing their opening ceremony, and then we will get the national anthem. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we will have the first period of play from the Dow Event Center between the Barrie Colts and the Saginaw Spirit. We are getting ready now for the first period of play between the Saginaw Spirit and the Barrie Colts. While we have a moment, let's take a look at our starting goaltenders, presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities. New homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm.
Well, Ben Arebic's still waiting for his net to be delivered to him, but he will get the start for the Barrie Colts. Appearance number 33 on the air for Arebic, 19.85 on the season with a .925 save percentage and a .276 goals against average. Tough start in his last game. Arebic stopping 24 of 31 in the loss to Brantford. For the Saginaw Spirit, Stefan Schurigan making start number 41, the 2025 second round import draft pick, a 16-7-6 on the season, with an .894 save percentage and a .359 goals against average. His last start came yesterday against the Sarnia Sting, stopping 39 of 42 in a 4-2 loss.
And you didn't mention, for Ben Horebic, wearing those sweet new pads.
They look old, very old school, very retro.
They're very retro, and he wore them last night as the backup goaltender, so it's great to see him in action here this evening in Saginaw. But quickly, our referees tonight, Blake Beer and Ryan Harrison. And on the lines, Joseph Erickson and Jordan Bridibus, as we are just about ready to go here. They've wrapped up the ceremony. They're delivering the puck in a bucket of ice. I don't think I've seen that yet this season.
No. Apparently that's an American thing. You deliver the puck, I guess.
Yeah, but it was in a bucket of ice. All right. Things are done differently here at the Dow. I love it. But the two teams are ready to go. Brad Gardner out there to take the draw here for the Barrie Colts up against Ryan Hannaran of the Saginaw Spirit. And we are ready to go. Puck drop and action is underway. Face-off won by the Colts. Ben Wilmot will send this one into the Saginaw zone. Tregan stays in his net. Jones sends it around, takes a hard hit there from Salandra. Puck taken away by Wilmot. Here's Salandra in the corner. Backhand pass. That misses. Ends up back at the blue line. Emerton across to Eliasson. Eliasson takes their shot. Tregan gets to the blocker up. Salandra behind the Saginaw net. Sends it up the middle. Here's Ben Wilmot. Over to Eliasson. Gabriel Eliasson to Cole Emerton. Emerton loses the handle of it. Saginaw will get this one out to center ice. Cloutier trying to carry this one ahead, but Salandra catches up from behind. He goes down. Play continues. Cloutier was on top of the puck and ends up back behind the Barrie net. Emerton will come back to play it. Gives it to Cole Bodwin, who picks up momentum through center. Bodwin enters the attacking zone. Going towards the net. Takes the shot. Schrigan makes the save. Zabeski finds the loose puck. Gives it to Cole Bodwin. Has it in the corner. Trying to keep it out of the skates of the official. Zabeski goes back to the point, but it's taken away by Klepov. Nikita Klepov, the rookie forward, passes it up to Zhilkin. Zhilkin fires, and that goes wide to the net. That's going to sail all the way back to the Saginaw blue line, where it's picked up by Xander Valeris. Zhilkin sends it deep. That's going to end up back behind the Barrie net. There's Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison facing some pressure there from Klepov. Ends up in the skates of the official. Klepov digs it free. Barabanov shot blocked. Ends up in the corner. Klepov from the tight angle, but that goes wide of the net. Valeris keeps it in at the point. Zhilkin comes back to the blue line, takes the shot. Rebick makes the save. Puck's loose, picked up by Hemming, and the Colts will get it out. 2-on-1 developing here. Here's Cole Bodwin. Bodwin to Hemming. It's in his skates, and Shurigan will guide that one to the corner. Saginaw with possession, carrying this one out as James Go. Go to Zilkin. One-timer scores. What a shot. And the Saginaw Spirit, known for their offense, they open it. It's 1-0.
Well, what a start there for the Spirit. Damian Zhilkin, one of the best players in the OHL, and that top line, 3 really strong players you got to watch out for. And James Go, the defenseman, stepping up in the play, able to create the opportunity, 3-on-3 into the zone. The one-timer by Zhilkin gets past Rebick, and the Saginaw Spirit strike first, leading this game 1-0.
For Damian Zhilkin, that's now 24 goals on the season. And in the coach's corner with Dylan Smoskowitz, we touched on it. This is an offense that can be lethal. And that top line showing what they're capable of. And it's an early 1-0 lead despite early pressure from the Barrie Colts. So we're getting this face-off at center ice. William Schneid taking the draw here against Geldart. Won by Saginaw. Harper back at his own blue line. He'll send it back to Go. James Go up the wing. Boy, gets a stick on it. That's going to go deep in the Barrie zone. Von Richter comes up with it. Von Richter sending it ahead. Harper along the boards. Keeps it down low. Here's Bode Stewart, the former Barrie Colt. Puts it behind the net. Picked up by Papoy. Papoy tied up there by Von Richter. They continue to battle. Colts get it free, and it's William Schneid who will get it out. Schneid trying to send this one across. Papoy was in the way. Ends up back in the Barrie end. Parker Von Richter. He's going to flip this one ahead. Picked up by Go. No, it gets through his legs. He touched it, so no icing. Puck goes deep into the Saginaw zone. Spirit send it around. Levi takes a hit there from Jaden Newton. Newton trying to send it around. Crombie there also throwing his weight. Saginaw trying to send it out. There's a shot from Emerton, and Shregan makes the save as Cole Emerton with the blast.
Nice look there by Emerton. Barrie Colts trying to get going. They go to third line. Jaden Newton getting an opportunity on the left wing tonight instead of center. As Eamon Edgar will center the fourth line.
Yeah, a bit of a different look there as Ethan Armstrong right now out on the ice to the left of Eamon Edgar as the Barrie Colts find themselves in an early hole. They win the faceoff. Carter Lowe drops it back to Emerton. Emerton from the corner in front. And that goes through the blue paint. Cloutier on the far side. He's going to get this one out. Picked up by Carter Lowe in the neutral zone. Lowe passes this one across. Emerton waits for it off the boards. Sends it ahead. Armstrong takes the hit. Jones sends it up to Cloutier. Cloutier, he loses at the Barrie blue line. Colts with possession. Here's Gabriel Eliasson. Up ahead, Edgar got a stick on it, so no icing. Ends up behind the Saginaw net. Harper sends this one forward. Jones gets it out. Taken there by Eamon Edgar. Colts with possession yet again. Eliasson ahead for Lowe. He'll enter the zone, takes the hit. Lowe on top of the puck. Hanrahan will get this one out and down the ice. Picked up by Brad Gardner. Gardner over to Passmore. He's going to skate this one back. Both teams right now making changes as we've just passed 3.5 minutes into this first period. Already 1-0 Saginaw. Demon Jilkin, the goal scorer. Wilmot trying to dig this one free. Aitchison gives it up to Gardner at the blue line. Here's Salandra. Takes the shot. That one's blocked. That was Bode Stewart getting in the way. Salandra from the half boards back to Aitchison. Rides the blue line. Salandra one-timer, and Shregan makes the save. Puck sent to the point. Colts keep it down low. Here's a chance. Shot stopped by Shregan. That was Wilmot with the chance. Stewart can't get it out of the zone. Kept in by Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison riding the blue line, but there's going to be a penalty. It was a pick play, and they're going to call this a hook against the Barrie Colts. So the Saginaw Spirit, they're going to get the first power play of the hockey game.
This one's going against Brad Gardner, and those offensive zone penalties not what you want to take here. As Colts are working it around, Aitchison bringing it to the middle, and then Gardner takes down his man as Barrie trying to work it around, and it'll turn into a Saginaw power play.
And the Saginaw Spirit, their power play right now 7th in the OHL, operating at 22.3%. While penalty kill for Barrie, 10th at 79.5%. And last night gave up 1 power play goal on 5 opportunities against the Flint Firebirds. So we'll see what's in store this time around. Faceoff will come to the right of Harebic. Spirit win this one back. It's Levi Harper at the point. Down low, here's Zilkin. Takes the shot and misses the net. That puck's going to escape the zone. Harper back to collect it here for Saginaw. Harper dropping it back to Barabanov. Barabanov enters the center ice area. He'll weave his way into the offensive end. Gives it up to Harmer. Barabanov, he's run over. Big hit by Von Richter. Zilkin keeps it in. Puts it across. Settling it down. Klepov. Here's Barabanov. Barabanov with a shot. Stopped by Harebic. Puck goes to the corner. Spirit with it. Klepov takes the shot, and a nice glove save there by Ben Harebic. And he's going to hold on.
Well, tons of talent on the top end of Saginaw, and of course his power play as well. Levi Harper, 38 points. Carson Harmer, 31. And then that top line, Barabanov, 58 points, joined by Shilkin, who's got 45. And then, of course, Nikita Klepov. He's a first-year player in the OHL. He's got 28 goals, 61 points already.
And expected to be a high draft pick for the National Hockey League. As the Spirit move it around, there's a one-timer stopped by Harebic. Power play down to 1:14. Calvin Crombie will pick it up here for the Colts. Gets it ahead for Zabeski. Gets that down to the Saginaw blue line where it's collected by Harper. Levi Harper. He's going to drop this one back to Barabanov as the Spirit regroup. Barabanov through the neutral zone. Gets it on the wing. He'll send it around. Far side Klepov. Nikita Klepov with possession. Gives it to Zilkin. Zilkin up to Barabanov. That's out of his reach. Passmore will collect it. Gets it to the line, but not out. Kept in by Zilkin. Here's Barabanov. Puts it across. Klepov fans on the one-timer, and then Aitchison was going after it. Looked like he was tripped up. Play continues. Crombie gets it in the neutral zone. He's going to dump it in. 34 seconds left in the penalty to Brad Gardner. Harper back to pick it up. He's been having an outstanding rookie season. Set the rookie points record for the franchise for a defenseman, passing Zane Parekh. Here's Geldar. Geldar along the wing, sends it down low. Quick pass. Papoy shot stopped by Horebic. Puck's in the middle. Colts trying to recover. It's in the skates in front of the net. And the Colts still clear it out. 5 seconds remaining here in this man advantage. So a good job on the penalty kill here for the Barrie Colts. As Gardner now coming out of the box. Puck almost ended up in the penalty box. Ends up back in the Saginaw zone. Barnes takes the hit from Schneid. And we're going to get a whistle here. It's going to be a penalty for roughing. And it looks as though the Saginaw Spirit, they're going to go right back on the power play.
Ben Wilmot just being a bit undisciplined there. Him and James go get into a battle there, and then Wilmot gives him a shot up top. And just like that, Saginaw right back on the power play. And for Saginaw, I mean, they got the 7th best power play. It's not a group you can just let get offensive chances and let get power plays. They're going to start taking advantage eventually.
And I feel like we've been talking about this quite a bit on the broadcast. It happened Sunday against Brantford Bulldogs, last night against Flint, where if you keep giving the opposition power plays, they're eventually going to take advantage. And you don't want to risk that when you're already down 1-0 here to Saginaw.
Well, you look at Flint getting that power play goal late in the game yesterday. I mean, Flint was 0 for 14 coming into the game, and Barrie continuously giving them those power play opportunities. Yeah, first Flint struggled, but eventually they take advantage. And here already, of course, I mean, we're only 6 minutes into the game, and Saginaw's on to their second power play.
Shots right now even at 5 apiece between these two teams. Faceoff will come to the right of Horebic. Farmer is going to take the draw here against Brad Gardner. And the linesman not liking what he sees. So Harmer is going to come out. Looks like Baraplanov will take the draw here for Saginaw. So they'll regroup their positionings here on this faceoff circle as they get ready for their second power play. Eventually we'll drop the puck. I feel like we wait a lot for pucks.
We do.
Face-off won by the Colts. They can't get it out of the zone. Kept it at the point by Harper. Harper sending that one ahead to Klepov. Back to Harper. Here's Barabanov. Down low side of the net. Across, but that doesn't connect with Klepov. Harper. His pass got away from him, but the Saginaw Spirit able to regroup. Klepov in the corner. Across. He was trying to find Zhilkin at the back door, but that doesn't connect. That pass deflected as Gardner got a stick on it. Klepov trying to keep this one in the zone, turns it over, and the Colts get it down the ice. Shrikin out of his net to play it. He's going to leave it there for the defense. Harper reaches center, goes ahead here to Harmer. Harmer sending it ahead. Levi Harper back to the blue line, but no one was there, so Saginaw has to regroup in the neutral zone. It's Barabanov ahead for Zhilkin. Zhilkin, backhand pass, kept in the zone there by Klepov. Puck comes around the boards. Von Richter continues it around, but Barabanov keeps it in. Barabanov along the boards, drops it back to Harper. Harper across. Klepov breaks his stick on the one-timer, and Hemming's going to get it out. 2-on-1 here for the Colts, shorthanded. Here's Bodwin up the middle. Loses the handle of it. Well, he tried to take the shot. Barabanov taking it the other way for Saginaw. 46 seconds left in the power play. Zhilkin comes back to the boards on the near side, down to the corner. Back to Barabanov. Barabanov looking at his options. Sends this one back to James Go. Go riding the blue line, goes to Barabanov, down low Zhilkin, quick pass, blocked by Von Richter, and he's going to get this one down the length of the ice. I feel like this unit's not going to be coming off anytime soon for Saginaw.
It just did.
Yeah, after how long?
That'd be about, 3:40?
About that. Because the power play now down to 12 seconds. Saginaw gets it in the Barrie zone again. It's down in the corner. Saginaw moving it around. Papoy across, blocked by Eliasson. Go at the point. Back down low to Papoy in front. Horebic had the paddle down. Power play comes to an end. Ben Wilmot out of the penalty box. Wilmot shorthanded. He's got it. It's knocked to the corner by Go. Go on top of Wilmot. Puck sent to the corner. Saginaw with possession. Getting this one ahead. That was Geldart up to Papoy. Papoy, backhand pass to Cloutier. Cloutier losing it there to Emerton. Colts skate this one out. Wilmot Up to Edgar. He lost it in his skates. Jones backtracking here for Saginaw. Puck's in the corner, picked up by Rausa. Rausa will send this one down the ice, and that's an icing call against Saginaw. 11:08 still to play here in the first period.
Calvin Crombie skated off a bit slow there. I think he got hit by something in the face. Not sure if it was a stick and feeling around at his nose. And
We'll want to keep an eye on that. Calvin Crombie had a highlight reel goal last night in Flint. And we heard in the coach's corner he was watching his highlights in the hotel room last night with Carter Lowe.
that's like me when I have a good call.
Yeah, you got to replay it a bit.
We replayed our overtime in the hotel room last night.
We did. Aitchison firing that one. Shrigan makes the save. Papoy can't pick that one up. The puck, though, will escape the zone. Colts with possession. Cole Emerton sends this one ahead. Schneid had his stick tied up. Roscoe back to play it here for Saginaw. Back to Jones. Jones up to Papoy. He's bumped. They get it out. Bode Stewart sends that one over as Schmidt will send this one deep. Ends up back behind the Barrie net. Emerton up to Edgar. Eamon Edgar sends this one across. Collecting it will be Newton. He's going to dump it in. Goes off for a change. Shregan behind the net. Goes to Glavin. Glavin skates this one ahead for Saginaw. Collision there. Is taking the hit. Was the Spirit forward. Gardner's going to dump it in. Ends up behind the Saginaw net. Schmidt after it. Nearly over skates it. Salandra takes him into the boards. Saginaw trying to get it out. They will. Colts regain possession. Wilmot sending this one back to Passmore. Passmore dumps this one in. Around the boards it goes. Gardner tying up his man on the far side. Justin Hanser collects it. Hanser loses it. Gardner has it in his skates. Back to the blue line, Wilmot. Wilmot takes the shot. Deflected. Shurigan the save. He's able to cover it up as he had Justin Hanser in front. Now he's got Hanser and Roscoe mixing it up. As we don't usually see Justin Hanser that close to the opposition's net. And the Saginaw defense taking exception.
Well, one guy we do usually see is Joe Salandra. He's getting into it in the corner there. Salandra more known for that. Justin Hanser usually back at the point, but the odd time he gets down there. He's got a couple goals on the season, 4 goals right now for Hanser. It's a pretty solid year for him. Playing right now with Evan Passmore as Colts right now putting Von Richter and Aitchison together again.
So we're down to 9:52 remaining in this first period. Facing off to the right of Shurigan. Garabanov will take the draw against Cole Bodwin. Scrambled draw here. Picked up there by Klefoff. He goes down. Play continues. Colts with it. There's the shot. It's going to go wide in the net. Back to pick it up is Aitchison. Takes it down low. Passes it to Bodwin. Bodwin facing pressure. Surrounded by blue sweaters. Puts this one back. One-timer Von Richter. Stopped by Shurigan. Barabanov comes up with it for the Spirit. He's going to skate this one ahead. Dumps it into the Barrie zone. Zabeski turns it over. Glavin gets it at center. He'll dump this one in. Colts back to play it. Kayshawn Aitchison. Down low. His pass goes off his skate. Here's a turnover for Saginaw. Klepov with it. Takes the shot. Blocked by Von Richter. Von Richter takes his man into the boards. Colts get it out. Emil Hemming reaches center. He's going to dump this one in. Into the near corner it goes. Bodman gives chase. Valeris sends it. There's a turnover, and Zabeski stopped by Shurigan. Puck's in the corner. Zabeski settles it down, trying to go back to Hemming. Go. Gets in the way of him. Zabeski sends it in front. Colts regain possession. Near side, Von Richter sets it up. Shot stopped by Shurigan. Puck goes to the corner again. Hemming back to the blue line. Aitchison, Von Richter near side. Bodwen, high slot, waits, fires, stop, rebound. They jam at it. Still loose, but a quick whistle as Hemming was there, and he's got Valeris tying him up. Now they're going to wrestle a little here. As the Barrie Colts, after giving up that opening goal and a couple of power plays, are starting to pick up the pace.
Well, Colts maybe not happy as well with the fact that that puck came loose and the officials whistled it down. Barrie already 13 shots here in the first period. They've had a couple of good opportunities here over the last couple of minutes. Looks like Hemming and Valeris both going to go to the box and probably get a little bit of 4-on-4 action here for the next 2.
Yeah, Emil Hemming a little hot under the collar as he had Valeris all over his back, the former Kingston Frontenac. So, yeah, it's going to be 4-on-4 for the full 2 minutes. 8:40 left to go in this first period. Faceoff stays in the Saginaw zone. It's going to come to the left of Shurigan. Wilmot take the draw up against Hanneran. Face-off one by the Colts. Emerton digs it out. His shot just misses that near post. Papoy picks up the loose puck for Saginaw. He's going to give that to Go. James Go skates this one forward for the Spirit. He's got Harper going up the wing. Go, still with it. Trying to keep it away from Hanser. James Go at the blue line. Still with it. Now he'll pass it over. Picked up here by Papoy. Papoy back to the blue line. Facing pressure there. He's got Cole Emerton on him. Papoy takes it down low. Takes the shot. Blocked in front. That was Wilmot getting in the way. Papoy behind the Barrie net. Trying to send it out in front. Still with it. Papoy loses the handle. Emerton takes it away. Along the board, Saginaw regains possession. That's Hannaran. Hannaran gets it out back to Harper. Harper on the near point. He's got Salandra with him. Harper passes this one over. There's the shot by Zhilkin, and that's deflected out of play. And we'll get this face-off with 1:04 left to go in the 4-on-4.
Well, Harper and Zhilkin, obviously two guys you don't want to give too much room to work. Levi Harper just was honored a couple minutes ago as the highest scoring defenseman by a rookie in Saginaw Spirit history, up at 38 points now for him this season. He's been really strong and continue to grow, and it's sure Saginaw Spirit are hoping he can turn into a Zane Perek-like defender.
Well, I was just going to say, it's quite incredible when you consider Zane Perek was the one who held that record previously. And there was questions of whether or not Perek would come back this season, but of course right now staying with the Calgary Flames. As the Spirit have it deep in their own zone. Zhilkin with speed through the neutral zone. Batted away there by Von Richter. Colts trying to regain possession. It's Kayshawn Aitchison in front of his own net. Aitchison will skate this one back as he takes his time. Chased out there. There's a turnover. Klepov gets it. Nikita Klepov waits. Fires. Stopped by Harevic. Picked up by Crombie. He's going to pass this one up to Von Richter. Von Richter ahead for Crombie. Crombie enters the zone on the near side. Crombie to the net backhand. That's blocked by Jones. The Spirit moving this one forward. Klepov can't hold on to it. Von Richter sends it back to Aitchison. Aitchison to Gardner. Two penalized players about to come out of the penalty box in 10 seconds. Brad Gardner enters the zone here for the Colts. He's got Crombie in front between the legs, and he just misses. What a chance for Calvin Crombie. Now Saginaw the other way as it's 5-on-5. Zhilkin to Klepov. Klepov inside the zone. Goes to Zhilkin down low. Takes the hit from Eliasson. Crombie's pass goes off his skate. Crombie trying to regain possession. He'll send this one down the ice. Back to the Saginaw blue line. It's Valeris. Up ahead to Klepov. Nikita Klepov drops it back. Barabanov, Valeris fires. Stopped there by Harevic as he's at the top of the blue paint to make the save.
What a play there by Calvin Crombie as Gardner chasing after it there in the corner. He's able to knock it out front. And Crombie with a between the legs attempt there on net. It goes over top of Shurigan. But after that goal last night, Calvin Crombie may be feeling a little confident coming into today's game.
I was going to say, he wants to have another highlight to watch back after the game tonight.
Well, if he does, I hope whoever he's sitting beside is ready to watch it the entire ride home.
It's what, 5 hours back to Barrie from here?
About.
Face-off one by the Colts. Carter Lowe's going to get this one to the line. It's knocked down. And they're going to blow this play dead for a glove-to-head pass. And they'll bring this face-off outside the Barrie blue line.
You know, for Crombie this year, I mean, he's not always the guy that gets on the scoreboard, but he seems to make an impact on almost every game. And whether it's a physical presence or just the effort he brings for this Barrie Colts team, he's one of those guys. He doesn't need to be on the scoreboard to make an impact.
Yeah, what a great pickup at the start of the season from the Brantford Bulldogs, Calvin Crombie. Colts send this one ahead. Carter Lowe got a stick on it. Puck's in the neutral zone. Geldart, he's taken into the boards. Edgar trying to kick it back to Eliasson. Ends up back in the Saginaw zone. Geldart sends this one across to Roscoe. Roscoe gets this one out to the neutral zone. Saginaw sending it in. Cloutier after it. He's tied up by Eliasson. Puck's in the corner. Spirit trying to put it in front. Armstrong gets a stick on it to Carter Lowe. Here comes Ethan Armstrong. Armstrong on the wing. Passes it across. Passmore had it. Puts it on goal, but Shurigan had his pad down. Harper has it behind the net. Geldart ahead for Cloutier as the Spirit skate this one forward. They're trying to make a line change. And then Eliasson running into Cloutier at the bench. Starting to see more physical play here from the Barrie Colts. Let's look at this one out to center ice. James Go picks off that pass attempt. Go Enters the zone on the near side, waits, passes it over to Harper. Levi Harper from the corner. Dropping it there, picked up by Bode Stewart. Stewart fires, stop, rebound, puck's loose. They try to find it, side of the net, picked up by Bodwin. Bodwin ahead to Zabeski. He'll move this one forward. That pass, though, blocked by Papoy. Papoy enters the zone. He's got Bodwin on him. He's going to be able to send it ahead to Stewart. Across, stopped by Hrebic, loose puck. Harper! He's stopped again by Hrebic. Saginaw pouring on the shots right now. They keep it down in the zone, but now the Colts will move it up. It's Cole Bodwin with momentum through the neutral zone. Bodwin across, and that ends up behind Mason Zabeski. Zabeski down behind the net for Saginaw. The Spirit come up with it. Go. Gets this one out. Hanner gets this one down the ice. Won't be icing. Justin Hanser back to play it for the Barrie Colts. 4:17 left to go in the first period. Hanser dumps this one in. That goes off the end boards. Schneid on the forecheck. Valeris sends this one around. Hanneran turns it over, gives it up to Calvin Crombie. Crombie taking it down low, puts it off the boards. Klepov knocks it down. Schneid back to the blue line. It's Hanser. Hanser shot blocked in front. Newton after the loose puck. Can't get the shot to go. He had Jilkin in the way. Hanser trying to keep it in play, but Saginaw get it out. And then Hanser ends up on top of the Saginaw forward. Puck comes the near side. Von Richter flips this one high in the air. Chasing after it is Schneid. William Schneid in the corner. Back to Crombie. Calvin Crombie. Back to Schneid. Schneid on the half boards. Comes back to the point. Leaves it for Von Richter. Von Richter hits the brakes. At the blue line, Aitchison one-timer. Shurigan with the save. And classic Kayshawn Aitchison fashion gets that one-timer to go, but this time could not beat the Saginaw goaltender.
They leave Aitchison open on the right side of the zone here. Risking giving up that one-timer, but Shurigan coming across, making that nice save. Perfect 14 of 14 so far, and it's kind of what we expected coming into this game. The Barrie Colts or the Saginaw Spirit, they give up a lot of shots, but they also have a high-firing offense that can keep them in any game. They've got 10 shots of their own, and already got the only goal of this game.
Well, the last game in Barrie, it was a 2-1 final in overtime. And I think that kind of surprised many. We were thought, okay, this will be a high-scoring game because of the offense of both teams. But that one, only 3 goals in total. And are we seeing something similar here tonight?
Yeah, it could be. And I mean, for the Barrie Colts back then as well, I mean, they were still finding their footing in those games, and they were giving up plenty of shots as well. I think Barrie and Saginaw at that point have probably given up the most shots in the league. And Barrie, obviously, they've gotten a bit better at defensive zone and shutting these teams down. But back then, there was a lot of shots for both teams, and goaltending stole the show that night.
Here's a long pass up to Hanneran. Hanneran's on his backhand, and Hrebic got a piece of it. Puck goes to the corner, picked up by the Colts. Flipping this one ahead, Ben Wilmot trying to settle it down. It rolls to the net. Shurigan will play it, but he puts that one right over the glass. So that's going to be delay a game. And Shurigan looking to the rafters as he knew he got too much under it.
You could see his reaction. You could hear the, oh! He's looking up again. Yeah, not much else to say. Nice play by Emerton, flipping that puck up ahead to Wilmot. Wasn't able to knock it down, and then but keeps up the pace and comes in on net trying to get to that puck and get a stick on it. Luckily, he didn't, as Shurigan takes it out of play himself. And Colts get their first power play of the game.
And this Barrie Colts power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. The Barrie Colts power play right now, 3rd best in the OHL at 25.2%. While the penalty kill for Saginaw, it's been struggling, 18th at 75.5%. So face off to the left is Shurigan. Crombie's going to take this draw against Demian Jilkin. Linesman right now giving some instructions as we get set for the first power play for the Barrie Colts. Face off won by Barrie. Here's Cole Emerton at the point. Emerton down low. Zabeski to Wilmot. Back to Emerton. Wilmot down low. That pass blocked by Valeris. Ends up in the corner. Ben Wilmot. Along the boards, Valeris takes a swing at it. Loose puck, Zabeski gets behind him. Ends up behind the Saginaw net. Valeris sends it to the blue line. Emerton can't play it. Now it's a shorthanded break for Nikita Klepov. Klepov on goal, waits, fires off the post. He had Hrebic beat, but he strikes iron. Oh my goodness, what a shorthanded chance. Barrie Colts right now trying to regroup. They still have a minute 22 to work with. Wilmot enters the zone. Ben Wilmot peels back, sends this to the blue line, but couldn't connect with Crombie. Puck will escape the zone. Emerton, he's going to backtrack as the Barrie Colts change the power play unit. Emil Hemming with it. He's going to take his time. A minute 4 still to work with. Gives it up to Von Richter. Parker Von Richter drops this one back to Bodwin. Up ahead to Hemming. Emil Hemming skates it through center. Still has possession. Takes the shot. Stopped by Shergan. Rebound. Aitchison finds it. Doesn't take the shot right away. Comes back to the point. Kayshawn Aitchison from the half-boards. Down low, quick pass. Salandra stopped by Shergan. Aitchison to Bodwin. That pass doesn't connect. Saginaw can't get it out. Kept in by Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison takes his time. Passes it across. Deflected. Hemming gets it in the corner behind the Saginaw net. Bodwin's pass is deflected, and Aitchison can't keep it in. Barabanov gets it out. Now it's Bode Stewart shorthanded. Stewart shot blocked there by Von Richter. Colts trying to take it back quickly. 18 seconds left in the power play. Zabeski in the mid, or Salandra rather, stopped by Shurigan. Stewart backhands this one down the ice, and I think it ends up on the Saginaw bench. And we'll get a face-off with 12 seconds remaining in the power play.
An opportunity there for Saginaw early in the power play for Barrie as Emerton tried to quickly spin and pass that puck, but turned it over, and then Zilkin right off the post. He beat Horebic there. Horebic didn't get the pad extended all the way, but right off the post, and puck remains out.
Yeah, Klepov is not the player you want to be giving chances like that. Colts win the draw. Schneid shot, loose puck. They jam at it, and that goes wide of the net by Newton. Puck's in the corner. Saginaw get it out. Aitchison with possession as the power play has expired. So the Barrie Colts 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Saginaw in their zone as we're in the final minute of the first period. Papoy at center drops it to Harmer. Harmer skates it in for the Spirit. Fans on the shot attempt. Trying to send this one back. Von Richter can't get it out. Papoy with it. Puck ends up in the far corner. Papoy racing for an impact there from Kayshawn Aitchison. Papoy trying to play it back at the point. Go can't keep it in. He's forced back. Newton, though, knocked it free. Shurigan comes out of his net to play it. Risky play there from the Saginaw goaltender, but he's able to clear the zone. Here's Papoy. He'll skate it in for the Spirit. Papoy forced around the Barrie net in front. There's a chance, and it's off the player at the side of the net. Colts get it out. 18 seconds left in the period. Harper at center. Passes this one across. Harmer can't get a stick on it. Here's Glavin at his own blue line. 10 seconds remaining. Hence it back in the Barrie zone, collected by Justin Hanser. Hanser trying to keep it away from Klepov. Klepov nearly took it. Puck sent to center ice. Glavin sends it across. Jilkin gives chase, but that will do it for the opening period. As back and forth they go. But it's the Saginaw Spirit right now who find themselves up 1-0 in what has been a entertaining game, but at the same time, kind of what we expected from these two teams.
Yeah, two teams known for being able to put the puck in the back of the net. Two really strong offensive teams, and it was Saginaw getting that first goal early in the period with Jilkin, but then Barrie Colts, they did have a good response. They fire up 18 shots there in this first period, but Shurigan a really strong start to this game, and he stopped 39 pucks last night. He's already got 18 more to his name here in the first period.
But the Barrie Colts had to be careful there a couple of times, even just the big example being Cole Emerton at the point, trying to keep that in the zone on the power play. And you give Nikita Klepov that breakaway chance shorthanded. He had Ben Horebic beat, but just hitting that post.
Yeah, Klepov had a really nice opportunity there. And then as well, Bode Stewart nearly had a chance later in that penalty kill. And if you're going to give the Saginaw Spirit chances, they're going to capitalize on them. So Barrie Colts they have to be a bit tighter defensively. Saginaw, they did have some good looks there in the opening period, and if they carry that over, they're probably going to get a couple more goals on Ben Horebic today.
Now, one thing you pointed out before the game, we were talking about Emil Hemming and just his play, because you had a chance to catch up with him before the game. That's his first game-winning goal of the season.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a surprise for both of us.
Yeah, he's got 16 goals on the year. You'd think the guy that's always out there late in games would be a guy with one of your game-winning goals this season, but Emil Hemming, He's not part of that list until last night after that beautiful play. That's a pretty good way to get your name into the game-winning goal category, working his way through a couple of defenders there to win the game for the Barrie Colts. And Hemming, he was well rested in that because he was the guy in the penalty box for the first 40 seconds of overtime there. So he comes out, they get a quick whistle, and then he's able to go back the other way as Flint's top guys had just been used on that power play.
Now, before you started the interview, Dylan Smoskowitz was asking if he was going to do the interview in Finnish. Did he do any of it in Finnish?
Well, I told him you can speak in Finnish, but I may not understand it. I can't respond in Finnish, and he decided to go the route of English only. But yeah, it would have been nice to hear Emil Hemming speak Finnish. He didn't give me any clarity beforehand, so I asked him the first question. I'm like, how's he going to respond here? But
yeah,
we went with English this time, and maybe we'll have to catch up with him one more time, and we'll bring a translator along.
Well, there we go. We'll try that. So here is Josh's conversation with Barrie Colts forward, Emil Hemming.
Well, joined by Colts forward Emil Hemming. Emil, last night, quite the game. The first 40 minutes doesn't go your way, but take me through that third period and overtime.
Yeah, we talked with the team before the third period that we need to step up the game. Here we haven't played a good 40 minutes, and yeah, obviously a good start from our team there. Scored the goal early and got it back to 3-3, and then obviously it dipped down again 3-5, and then scored one goal there, and then we got the major penalty there. So yeah, I mean that just like describes our team. We're never like quitting, even though the situation what it was. So yeah, that just tells how good of a team we are, and the other team needs to be ready that even though it looks like it's over, it's not over with us. So yeah, proud of our team, and then coming back in the overtime too. So yeah, that was a big win for us.
Now that shorthanded goal, I mean, obviously you guys never going to give up on a game, but what are the emotions when you're in a situation like that, you're shorthanded for the rest of the game, and you find a way to come through?
Yeah, obviously tough. You have one player less in the ice, so it's hard to score. But I think yeah, I don't know. It's pretty tough to say, but I just say that we worked hard, and then obviously we have to attack even though we're down one goal and we're on PK. So it turned out that we scored this time, and we had a lot of chances there to score earlier too. So yeah, that just tells that how good of a PK we have too. So yeah.
Now for you guys, I mean, that's a big comeback win. You've kind of had some similar games like that. Does this just feel like a team that it really doesn't matter to score? You guys are in any game?
Yeah, it's for 60 minutes, it's never 40 or 20 minutes. So yeah, I feel like we're never quitting, even though the situation, like if we were like down 5-0 or one goal, we'd always play to the end. So yeah, that just tells we're never quitting in this team, and yeah.
Now it's the third day on the road for you guys. It's starting to probably get a bit tired, and what's your mindset going into today? A long gap between games last night and into tonight.
Yeah, a quick turnaround. Have to focus on this game. Yeah, obviously your body feels tired. A lot of games left still, but you just have to fight through it. And yeah, big 2 points tonight. So I will try to get those 2 out tonight.
What's the game plan for taking on this Saginaw team? They're a team that gives up a lot of shots, but if you give them those chances back the other way, they're going to be able to capitalize.
Yeah, like we saw last time, we lost to them in the overtime. So, we know that it's not going to be an easy game for us. We have to play full 60 minutes, best game from us. So, yeah, obviously just simple game, work hard, and, that way it creates chances. And we have to be good on the defensive zone, too, that they can score really good. So, yeah.
It's your first time playing against Bode Stewart. What's that going to be like tonight?
Yeah, obviously I really like that guy. He's one of my best friends. So, obviously it's sad to see him go away from our team. He was a good player, and I wanted to be with him the rest of the season. But, yeah, when puck drops, it's obviously a business, and you're not friends there. But, yeah.
What's it been like, that top line, you, Cole Baudouin, and Ben Wilmot as of late? You guys, it just felt like right away after the trade deadline, you guys established a pretty good chemistry there.
Yeah, I think we play really good right now, just keep it that way. And, I think we just work hard and, create chances by that way. And, yeah, you have to, it's never going to come easy, every game, you just think that it's going to come to us. You have to work for it, and I feel like we three do that every game. So, yeah, just keep it going from on here.
feel like kind of the same thing with Mason Zabeski last night? I mean, it only took you guys as a line 13 seconds to get your first goal.
Yeah. Obviously we needed to get us going in the third period. So yeah, it was a good way to get us going. Get the team going in. So yeah, it was a big goal for us, and Mason too first with the Bears. So yeah, obviously that helps a lot for him and our team.
Well, Emil, thanks for doing this. Best of luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
It is the first intermission here at the Dow Event Center as Barrie Colts taking on the Saginaw Spirit. 1-0 the score after the opening period. Damon Jilkin, the lone goal scorer in this game so far. And just a reminder, the chat, it's up and running. So if you want to take part in the conversation, you can bring up the topic that you wish to discuss, or if you have any questions, we can definitely address those. I see that we've got questions about Hemming's first name, and I know there's a lot of broadcasters who have been having some difficulties with names, and they usually ask us pregame about how to pronounce those names. So for Emil Hemming, that's one that is usually pretty common.
Yeah, Emil Hemming, Emil. You
don't want to get your tongue tied.
Got to be careful there, but yeah, Hemming's one. Desiderio, the Schneid debacle.
Yep.
Govro.
Well, even for Eamon Edgar.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've been getting a lot of questions. But that's the nice thing about traveling on the road. That, a lot of these home broadcasters, they don't get to see the Barrie Colts that often, especially when we come to the Western Conference. I know Dylan Clark, the guy that does the Saginaw Spirit, he is top-notch. One of the hardest working guys in
all
broadcasting.
Three of the American guys work so hard.
Yeah, Brian in Flint, Trevor in Erie, and then Dylan here in Saginaw. They do an amazing job with everything that they do preparing for these games. So, Liam, with that question, and that is Emil Hemming is how you pronounce it.
And two, this is the first year we've been on the road, so oftentimes, some of these teams, they have separate play-by-play and radio play-by-play guys. So a lot of the TV guys, they don't have anyone from Barrie usually here if they have a question. So sometimes over the last couple of years, you're just kind of basing it off looking back and seeing what other people have called them. And if a lot of people are calling them Emil or Emil Hemming on the road, then maybe you're naturally bound to do that. But now that we're here to lend a lend a helping hand.
We're trying to help where we can with the broadcasters around the Ontario
We're
Hockey
trying to
League.
make up for years of no radio.
Exactly. So that's a great question there, Liam. And if you want to join the chat, you can as well. But right now, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Yeah, one game happening earlier today. The Brampton Steelheads have now won back-to-back games. They pick up the 2-1 win over the Oshawa Generals. London is in Erie taking on the Otters. That game tied at 1 at the end of the first period. 1-0 for Flint after 1 against Sarnia. Flint out shooting Sarnia 17-5. So the Firebirds, they seem to like those first periods shot-wise at least. Guelph and Owens down. Just getting that first period finalized. 1-1 the score after the first period. Pierce Bowie getting a goal there for Owen Sound. And that's all. A 5-game slate today.
Now remember, Erie Otters getting that win against the Sioux Greyhounds the other night. And, oh, this is amazing. Well, thank you very much.
We'll pass one down to Connor.
We'll give that one to Connor. Thank you very much. And also shout out to the everyone working here in the media box. They just delivered us fresh brownies. I don't know if I can eat this right now, but Josh, what's your call on the brownies?
Oh, those are really good.
They're really good?
Yeah. They got like chocolate icing on them on
We're
top.
getting spoiled.
We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, the hospitality here in Saginaw, top notch. If you ever get a chance to travel to visit your favorite OHL team, the Dow Event Center should be one of your places to visit. I always like Erie and Saginaw. Flint was great last night, too.
Yeah, Flint was fun. I like the dynamic in Flint because the media room is attached to the press box. Some of these places, the press box is way up top, and then the media room is down in the basement, down by the locker rooms. And, like in Sudbury, for example, you're way up top with the ladder. You got to go up and everything. But then to get down to the media room, you got to go down the stairs, go down the tunnel near the Colts dressing room there. You're able to get into the media room. But
yeah, so
Flint, it's you walk in, you grab
everything's right there.
You head to your seat.
We even grabbed a snack on our way out.
We grabbed a couple of
wraps,
chicken Caesar wraps. We apologize if anyone was hoping to get a hold of those when they were cleaning things up, but we took a couple chicken Caesar wraps and we have no regrets as they were very good.
Yeah. So shout out to the Press Row catering services dropping off brownies. It looked like they're freshly baked. So Josh is giving a thumbs up. And now you're going to have to talk. I'm going to expect you to talk now for 5 minutes straight. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can eat my brownies.
Sure.
So, yes, it's the first intermission here from the Dow Event Center. 1-0 for the Saginaw Spirit. Tammy joining the chat saying the Colts will come back out in the second and third and score and win it. I believe in them. And we've seen this recently from the Barrie Colts where, especially in the second period, when they've got the lead, they kind of take that, the foot off the pedal and kind of, coast a little bit. And then in the third period, it's like a whole other gear. And Dylan Smoskowitz talked about that in the pregame show, saying that that's the Barrie Colts gear is what they do in the third period. And that was evident last night against the Flint Firebirds. And we'll have to wait and see what is in store here against Saginaw.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And I kind of talked about that with Emil Hemming. I didn't use the word team of destiny, but, that's kind of the vibe it gives off. And asking about, it kind of feels like it doesn't matter what the score is. You guys have a chance, and you just see that with teams sometimes where they have one of those years where it feels like everything just goes their way. I mean, it's a good example in Canada, the Toronto Blue Jays. No one expected them to be that good this season, but it felt like everything swung their way, and they were in games no matter what. They end up making it to the World Series, and maybe the Barrie Colts are one of those teams. Everything is swinging their way. They're getting these amazing comebacks and amazing victories that are just so fun to watch. And they're going to continue that down the stretch and hopefully ride it into the playoffs. Right now, it's looking like they're going to be the 2 seed, which means there's going to be 2 very tough rounds this season. I think there's 3 really good teams in the Eastern Conference. 2 of them are going to have to face each other in round number 2, unless the Brantford Bulldogs or Ottawa 67s, whoever's first or third, gets upset in the first round somehow, which I doubt will happen. So there's going to be a couple tough playoff rounds coming to the 2 and 3 seed, whoever wins that matchup, and it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, so the Barrie Colts right now 5 points back of Brantford and Ottawa. Both those teams idle tonight, so a chance to move within 3 points of those 2 teams. But it's going to be quite the race right to the finish. Just over 20 games remaining in the regular season. 6 weeks left. So we only have 6 more weekends to go, and then it's going to be playoff hockey for the OHL.
That's going to be exciting to watch. We're talking about potential different playoff alignments, and I think we love coming up with the 1 versus 16, and we kind of laugh because right now Barrie would play Kingston in the OHL playoffs this season, but if you realign it 1 to 16, they still play Kingston.
Yeah.
There was that, and then there was the matchup of the fact that Ottawa would probably have to go to Saginaw round 1
If it did the 1 to 16.
and then the Sioux round 2. So that's 2 8-hour drives back to back. No thanks.
Yeah, but it is nice to come here at least once a year to Saginaw, and we are really appreciative of the off-ice crew here at the Dow Event Center. So the two teams now coming back on the ice as we're getting ready for the second period of play. Barrie Colts, they've got some work to do trying to get back in this hockey game. They are out shooting the Saginaw Spirit 18-11. So they're generating those chances. It's just Shurigan has been pretty solid so far. Just that one mistake where he put the puck over the glass, so it was delay a game. But outside of that, the Colts are going to have to dig deep here to solve the goaltender of the Saginaw Spirit.
If you're going to take a penalty as a goalie, you better be pretty dialed in for the next 2 minutes. And Shurigan was. He made a couple nice saves there. And one thing I noticed as well, very cool, is they started that Brad Gardner, Mason Sebeski, Calvin Crombie, Ben Wilmot, and Cole Emerton unit. And that was the unit that got the goals last night. In fact, Barrie Colts on the power play, 2 power play goals, 1 from Crombie, 1 from Gardner. And they've talked about, hey, we have 2 power play units. There's no power play 1, no power play 2. So that other unit getting a nice look here to start the game.
Now, Tammy, mentioning last night's broadcast, it was the game of the week is what they call it for Flow Hockey. They do one game every Friday. Different teams being featured. So last night it was the Barrie Colts and the Flint Firebirds on the Friday night. So that's been what the OHL has been doing this season. I think the only other broadcast where it was the Barrie Colts on a Friday night was Kitchener.
Yeah, and that's the one thing too about Barrie Colts broadcast is that it's the radio side of us that only gets ruined because Barrie Colts home games are Thursdays and Saturdays. So only Barrie Colts road games are usually featured in that. So, yeah, the Barrie Colts are one of the better teams in the OHL. And as they continue to have these marquee matchups down the stretch, they're playing another good team on Fridays down the stretch. They're very likely to be considered for that. I haven't looked ahead to the schedule on Friday night, how many other games there are in action, but we'll see if they're maybe the Friday night face-off again this Friday.
Well, next Friday, the Barrie Colts are going to be in Brampton to face the Steelheads. And then that wraps up this 4-game road trip. And that's just our second visit to Brampton of 3. And the third one's going to be a school day game. So that one's going to be interesting in March. But the second period now underway. It's 5-on-5 hockey. The Colts win this face-off, ends up down in their own zone. Back to play it. Here's Cole Emerton facing pressure there from Hannaran. Puck comes to the line, kept in there by Saginaw. The Spirit passing this one up. Hannaran bats this one out of the air. Play continues. He takes the hit. Harmer goes to Cloutier. He's going to come around the net. Cloutier drops this one back. From the corner, there's a backhand stop by Hrebeck. Nice chance there. Going to the net was Braden Jones. And the Colts get this one down the ice. Back to pick this one up is Burns. Salandra picks off that pass. Salandra in front. Gardner fires, misses the net. What a chance there for Brad Gardner. Gardner gets it again for the Barrie Colts. Puts this one to the corner. Wilmot trying to get a stick on it. Gets it in the corner. Cloutier picks this one up for Saginaw. Gets this one out to the center ice. Von Richter to Eliasson. Parker Von Richter gets it again here for the Colts. Over to Eliasson. Sends this one on net. Shurigan thought about playing it, but ends up getting the whistle.
I just looked ahead to the schedule next weekend. I think Flint might get the game again. They're playing the Sioux in a pretty big matchup.
Oh, that's a big West Division matchup. The Greyhounds trying to catch Flint. So, yeah, that's a good prediction there because we don't know these things until, what, Monday they announce it?
They announce it on Monday. You know, some of those things you get announced long before, like at the top, like Sunday Night Baseball, for example. And then sometimes you get a matchup that isn't as good because of some surprises. And so here, you know right around it who it's going to be.
Face-off won by Saginaw. They'll get this one to the blue line and out. That's going to go on net, so no icing. Ben Hrebeck there to play it. Puts it behind his own net for Eliasson. Eliasson will send this one around. On the boards, Klepov. He's bumped off the puck. Valeris not able to keep it in. Delayed offside against Saginaw. Eliasson back behind his own net to play it, being chased out there by Klepov. Eliason ahead up to Zabeski. Mason Zabeski takes the shot, stop, rebound. Bodwin couldn't get there in time. Eliason to the nets, and that goes wide. Von Richter winds up, doesn't take the shot, ends up in the corner. Von Richter skates into the official. It's behind the Saginaw net. The referee stuck in the middle. That's Ryan Harrison, who is surrounded by players. Shot to the net, but Bodwin couldn't get a stick on it. Puck ends up in the neutral zone. Back to play it is Eliason. Eliason up ahead to Von Richter. He'll chip this one out to center. Glavin up to Barabanov. That pass is blocked. Cole Bodwin through the neutral zone. He'll skate this one in. Bodwin sends it to the corner. Valeris will play it. Takes the hit there from Bodwin. It was a bone-crushing hit. Saginaw gets it out. Passmore right back into the Saginaw zone. Shurigan there to play it. He'll give it up to Valeris. Valeris passes this one across. Picked up by Josh Glavin. Glavin gives it to Zhilkin. The lone goal scorer tonight. Zhilkin, he'll dump it in. He's going to go off for a change. Puck comes the near side. Passmore. That's taken away by Popoy. Popoy in the corner. Tied up there by Schneid. Popoy again. Trying to drop this one back. Jaden Newton comes up with it as Geldart gets in the way of that clearing attempt. Newton skates this one back behind his own net. Hits the brakes. Gives this one to Justin Hanser. Hanser, backhand pass to Crombie. Calvin Crombie through the neutral zone. Passes that one to the corner. It's blocked. Gets it again. Calvin Crombie back to the point. Passes this one across. Picked up here by Aitchison to the net. Takes the shot. Shurigan gets a shoulder on it. Armstrong couldn't get a stick on it. Goes in the air. Calvin Crombie with possession. Trying to go down low. Quick pass. Newton takes their shot. That one's blocked. That was Harper getting in the way. Geldart sends this one behind his own net. Go to the line. Not out. Kept in by Schneid. James Go gets it again. Sends this one forward. It bounces out to center. Armstrong takes a swing at it, but that's going to be offside against the Barrie Colts.
Well, another strong start to the period here for Barrie, getting in a couple nice looks on Shurigan and getting that puck to the net. Kayshawn Aitchison had a nice look there, but Shurigan 20 for 20 so far.
It's been a busy night, and he's kind of used to that. He's faced most shots in the Ontario Hockey League. As this faceoff will come outside the Saginaw blue line. Getting ready to take the faceoff is Edgar up against Hanrahan. Faceoff won by the Colts. Aitchison sends this one around the boards. Edgar's down there. Sends it to Bodwin behind the net. Cole Bodwin gives this one to Carter Lowe. Lowe across, finds Aitchison. Doesn't take the shot. Waits, fires. That goes off Cloutier and wide of the net. Carter Lowe comes out of the corner at the point. Takes the shot. Blocked in front. Loose puck. It's in their skates. And the Spirit will get this one out. Armstrong back in his own zone. Passes this one up. Goes off the skate of Carter Lowe. Saginaw trying to move this one in. Cloutier reaching for it. Can't get to it. Edgar collects the puck. Skates this one in for the Colts. Valeris trying to knock him off stride. Edgar wrapped around. That goes wide. And that ends up in the neutral zone. Gabriel Eliason, he's going to send this one back into the Saginaw zone as Barrie makes a line change. The Spirit moving this one ahead through center. Near side, Cloutier dumps this one in. Brad Gardner picks it up here for the Colts. Back to Emerton. Cole Emerton off the boards to Eliason as the Colts set things up. Emerton, long stretch pass. That one nearly picked off. Following it up is Gardner. Gardner sending this one to the far side. He'll get to it, sends this one around. Eliason at the near point. Keeps this one in. No, it'll get by him down the ice. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the second period. Still just one goal to report. That came back in the first period from Zhilkin. That's deflected down the ice. Shurigan out of his net to play it. Wilmot couldn't get there in time. Barabanov, his pass taken away. Here's Wilmot. Backhand stopped by Shurigan. What a chance as the Barrie Colts developed that chance off the turnover. But Wilmot couldn't bury it.
A nice job by the Colts there, forcing that takeaway. Salandra able to get it down low there for Wilmot, who's all alone, and backhanding it into the net. But Shurigan able to slide across, makes a nice save. Dylan Smoskowitz for now starting the period with more traditional 11-7 format. Saw Cole Baudouin getting a shift with Edgar and Lowe, while Ethan Armstrong was on the back end there.
Well, Smoskowitz mentioned in the pregame interview that Armstrong was going to play a little bit of both forward and defense, and that was a good example of that. Face off to the left is Shurigan. Face off won by Gardner. Back to the line, Von Richter. Sends this one around. Wilmot behind the net. Wilmot trying to pass it in front. Blocked by Go. Salandra gets the loose puck. Joe Salandra in front. Gardner trying to get a stick on it. Rolls back to the point. Colts keep this one in. Good stick work there by Aitchison, but now it's sent to the line. Kept in again by Salandra. Great work. Joe Salandra to the half boards. At the point now. Sends this one up to Gardner. Back to the blue line, Von Richter. Here's Aitchison down low. Kayshawn Aitchison along the boards. Von Richter winds up. His shot right on goal, and Shurigan gets the glove on it. He saw that one coming. Kind of felt like a bit of a power play setup.
Yeah, they're doing a good job moving the puck around there at the top as Von Richter was at the point, and then Aitchison was a bit more down low. And so you obviously expect the Aitchison one-timer, but when it goes back to Von Richter, it's fourth in the league in shots, but you sometimes don't expect it out of him. There's 5 goals on the season for one of the newer Barrie Colts.
Yeah, some great work. Parker Von Richter's just getting the pucks on net even, and goes a long way. Face off to the right of Shurigan, one there by the Spirit. Harper's going to send this one around. Aitchison trying to come off the point, but that's going to escape the zone. Hemming takes a swing at it, ends up back in the Barrie end. Parker Von Richter will skate this one forward. Von Richter across, ends up behind Zabeski. Now he'll dump it in. Bodewin, first one on it in the corner. Bodewin back to Hemming. His shot, that goes over the net. Aitchison after the loose puck. Gets it in the corner. Down low, Zabeski. Behind the Saginaw net. That got away from him. Glavin will send this one down the ice. Rebick out of his net to play it. He had Kluche coming in on him. Cole Bodewin, nice move to get around Armour. His backhand pass is blocked. Zabeski finds Hemming. His shot off the post. Emil Hemming strikes iron. Picked up here by Zabeski. Another chance, and that's blocked. Aitchison with it at the point. Down low to Bodewin. Cole Bodewin circling here. Takes the shot into the crowd. That goes off a skate. And the Spirit just want to relieve the pressure. They ice it. And we'll get the whistle. But my, oh my, Emil Hemming strikes iron on a great look.
Yeah, 2 great looks there. That one off the post, he comes flying through the middle, is able to beat Shurgren, but off the bar. And then the one before that, he misses the net, but it was a really nice play by Cole Bodewin. Like, within a second, he realizes Hemming's going to be driving through the middle, and he's going to be able to pass it to him, and just chips it to the middle, and Hemming's coming flying through. Unfortunately, he misses the net, but the ability of Bodewin, just a flip of the switch like that to get it to the middle. Great play.
Yeah, and it was looking like a power play. As right now, the Barrie Colts winning the possession game against Saginaw, still looking for that first goal to tie it up. But I'm sure for the coaching staff for the Barrie Colts, have to be happy with the start here in this second period.
Yeah, they've been playing good hockey. And I mean, 22 shots right now for Barrie. They've been controlling the play in the offensive zone, but maybe not getting as many shots as they were in the first period. Only 4 shots so far this period for Barrie. Just kind of surprising with the way they played. I figured it'd be a few more than that, but they've had a good start to the period, and now the second line of Gardner, Salandra, and Wilmot will try and keep it up and carry it over as Ethan Armstrong again out on defense.
Face off to the left of Shurigan. Brad Gardner is going to take the draw here against Carson Harmer. Saginaw will get to it, send it out. That bounces off Armstrong and onto the Colts bench. So we'll get this face off. I believe it's going to come outside the Saginaw blue line.
The second line doing a solid job again. And Joe Salandra getting a goal last night for Barrie Colts. That's a guy with only 7 goals this season, but similar to Calvin Crombie, he doesn't play like a guy with only 7 goals. And Salandra, you thought coming into the season was going to be one of those goal scorers for the Barrie Colts. He hasn't fully been that guy, but he's added so much more to his game that he's been really good for the Colts despite not getting as many goals as I think they were expecting.
Well, right now, Salandra lined up right beside Bode Stewart. They are having words as those two had to be directed. There's a turnover. Ben Wilmot reaching. That's going to be a penalty against Saginaw. Puck goes behind the net. Gardner gets to it. Gardner touches it, so we're going to have to wait and see who's going to get the call. It's going to be a hook. Right now, Glavin having a discussion there with Brad Gardner. I thought the penalty was going to be against Saginaw, but they blew the whistle when Barrie had the puck behind the net.
Well, it should be because there's the penalty. And
yeah, they're showing that on the board. Now we've got a player heading in the box. It looks like it's going to be Xander Valeris for a hook.
Now Wilmot works his way around them after he was able to force that turnover, and Valeris just trying to keep him from getting in alone there again. And Wilmot draws penalty on the Barrie Colts power play again with an opportunity to tie this game.
And this Barrie Colts power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. Face off will come to the right of Shurigan. Cole Bodwin taking the draw up against Eamon Jilkin. Jilkin will win this one back. Jones fires this one around. It takes a strange bounce, kept in by Aitchison. Near side, Hemming. Emil Hemming from the half boards. Looks at his options. Down low, Salandra. Back to Hemming. Von Richter at the point. Winds up. Goes over to Aitchison. He puts that one wide. Hemming gets it again here for the Colts. Settling things down a bit for Barrie. Back to the blue line, Von Richter. Hemming looks back to Von Richter. Von Richter takes the shots, and Shurigan gets the glove on it. Had some traffic in front, but he's able to make the save.
Now, obviously, Barrie wanting to get a couple players out in front there for Keishaw and Aitchison and bringing out Carter Lowe now. Maybe that's part of the plan here to get a body out front. Carter Lowe, one of the bigger guys on the team.
1:33 remaining in the power play here for the Colts. They win the draw. Hemming goes back to Von Richter. Parker Von Richter to Emil Hemming. Emil Hemming goes back to Von Richter. Takes the shot, pass side of the net. They jam at it. That's Bodwin. Shurigan makes the save. Puck goes to the corner. Carter Lowe trying to send it around. Jilkin was in the way. Along the boards. Carter Lowe to Aitchison. Back to the point. Hemming waits. Doesn't take the shot. Rides the line. His pass is picked off by Klepov. Nikita Klepov already had one shorthanded break earlier, but that's blocked and sent back into the zone. Aitchison along the boards. He's going to send this one around. After it is Cole Bodwin. Bodwin to Emerton at the point. Takes his time, goes back to Bodwin. 46 seconds left in the power play. Here's Hemming. Back to Emerton. Takes the shot into the crowd and still loose. They're digging for it. It's at the side of the net. Bodwin can't find it. Aitchison will. Hemming to the net. Takes the shot. That's blocked by Glavin. Bodwin behind the Saginaw net. Trying to get it away from Jilkin. Back to the blue line, Emerton. Near side, Hemming. Hemming waits. Fires. Stopped by Shurigan. Hemming. Down low to Carter Lowe. Around the boards. Aitchison goes after it. 18 seconds left in the man advantage. Aitchison will trade places with Emerton. Paul Emerton waits. Goes back to the middle. To the side of the net. Bodwin doesn't take a shot. Wilt scores. What a shot. Cole Bodwin finds the top shelf. And just like that, it's tied at 1.
What a shot there by the Barrie Colts co-captain and Cole Bodwin. And it was actually him that kept the play alive about 30 seconds ago, knocking the puck loose out in front. Emerton gets it down low for Bodwin, who fakes like he's going to put it out front for Carter Lowe. As Shurigan baits on it, goes down, and Bodwin able to find the back of the net, tie this game up at 1 apiece.
That's 19 goals on the season now for Cole Bodwin and the Barrie Colts. Back in this hockey game, we're tied at 1. Puck goes down the ice into the Saginaw zone. The Spirit trying to get this one out. Hanser is there, gets a stick on it. Ends up at center ice. Schneid back to Passmore. Up the wing, Newton tips it in, so no icing. James Go back to play it for Saginaw. Sends it around to Levi Harper. Harper puts it off the glass and down the ice. Hanser trying to keep it away from Bode Stewart. Papoy gets a stick on it. Jade Newton from the corner. It's on the far side in the Barrie zone. Goes to Crombie. Crombie couldn't get hold of that one. Harper towards the net. It's blocked. Schneid gets it out. Crombie trying to get a lane to that puck, but it's picked up by Go at his own blue line. Long pass. Gelder on the wing. Gelder takes a hit. He's dumped by Crombie. Hanser will pick it up. Passmore from the far corner. Up the middle. Finds Crombie at center ice. Calvin Crombie into the zone. Ends up in the near side. Go trying to keep it away from Schneid. In the corner. Bode Stewart in a battle with Wilmot. He'll dig it free. Ben Wilmot back to the point to Armstrong. Near side, Eliason. Back to Armstrong. Sets up Gardner. Takes the shot. Stopped by Shurigan. Puck goes to the corner. James Go after it. Blocked there by Wilmot, who's trying to send it behind the net. Wilmot takes it away. Bode Stewart knocks it off his stick. Ends up behind the net. Salandra with a big hit. Gardner back to Eliason. Gardner again. Waits. Fires. Stop. Rebound. But Wilmot couldn't get there in time as Shurigan will hold on as we've just passed the midway point of this hockey game.
That shot counter's starting to get up there for the Barrie Colts. Saginaw, it's been on 13 for a while there, but Barrie up to 29, closing in on 30 shots here, just about halfway through this game, and kind of keeping up that pace of the first period. They get 20 shots in the opening frame, 10 more here in the first 10 minutes, and still on pace for almost 60 shots this game.
And one of the more important things is the fact that they've been playing more disciplined hockey than we saw in the opening of the first period.
Just those 2 penalties in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then nothing since.
Saginaw sends it back into the Barrie zone. Parker Von Richter is there to play it. Sends it back to Emerton behind his own net. Von Richter in the corner trying to play it. He's bumped. Picked up there by Harmer. Taken away by Ben Wilmot. He'll get this one out between the legs of Gardner. Gardner to Salandra. Joe Salandra trying to pick it up. Taken into the boards. Wilmot digs it free between the legs. Can't get the backhand to go. He was surrounded by blue sweaters. Saginaw gets it out to center. Harmer's going to come back into his own zone, trying to keep it away from Wilmot. Ben Wilmot on the forecheck. Lavin on the far side. Takes a hit there from Gardner. And the clearing attempt goes off. Hemming at the point and out. And this faceoff's going to stay back in the Saginaw zone.
Well, sure, again, he's a pretty good goaltender. I know it's an .892 save percentage, but when you're facing that many shots, you're bound to give up a decent amount of goals. But at the same time, .892 save percentage. So if you keep getting these shots on net, eventually you're going to find some holes and find the back of the net and keep adding to this score.
Well, they keep peppering him with shots. Now 29-13. Face-off won by the Colts. Aitchison has it at the point. Over to Passmore. Takes the shot in front. That looked like it may have gone off Colt Bodwin and wide of the net. Hemming gets it in the near corner. Zabeski's there. Zabeski sends it behind the Saginaw net. Harper will skate this one forward. Puts this one over the... No, I thought that was going out of play. Picked up here by Bodwin. Bodwin gets it in the zone. Zabeski's got Hemming going to the net. Trying to go to Hemming. Loose puck, and they put it in their own nets. I think Kluche just put it in his own goals. They were trying to set up Hemming in the slot. Unless Hemming got a stick on it, but it's now 2-1.
Well, Hemming leading the charge, so I think he at least thinks he got a stick on it. But yeah, Cloutier was right there as well. Zabeski puts the shot on net. Shurigan able to make that save, but not able to control the rebound as the puck goes in there out front. And as of right now, Emil Hemming believes he's getting credit with his 17th goal of the year. This will give us a good angle. So the shot goes on net. Yeah. Oh, I think Hemming maybe...
I think he touched it.
But then Cloutier also maybe... I think he may have hit it over Cloutier's stick.
They were both going for it, so that's going to be Emil Hemming's goal. It's now a 2-1 hockey game. But my, oh my, the Barrie Colts just continue to put on the pressure here and have taken the lead. So it's now 2-1, 8:25 left in the second period. Colts get this one out to center ice. Saginaw with it in their own zone. Roscoe sends it across. Barnes takes the hit from Newton. Roscoe gets it again. He'll send it up the ice. At center ice, Klepov enters the zone here for Saginaw. That pass goes off Schneid. Von Richter behind his own net. Drops it back to Eliasson. Gabriel Eliasson sends this one around. Newton trying to get it out. Blocked there by Roscoe. Schneid over to Crombie. Calvin Crombie reaches center ice. He's going to skate this one ahead for the Colts. Gets around Barnes. Shurigan will play it. Pulls off the official in the corner. Shilkin from the blue line to Barabanov. Near side Klepov. Klepov hits the brakes. Drops this one back behind the Barrie net. Aitchison gets to it first. He's in a battle with Barabanov. Valeris down low here for Saginaw as the Spirit trying to respond after giving up 2 unanswered goals here in the second period. Kayshawn Aitchison up to Calvin Crombie. Puts that one off the boards. Edgar couldn't hold on to that one. Saginaw comes back the other way. Rausa on the wing. His shot goes off Carter Lowe. Aitchison puts it behind the net. Rausa. He's tied up by Passmore. Aitchison gets a stick on it. Moving that one around. Sawyer Schmidt. Schmidt trying to get it. Klepov had a piece of it. Colts can't get it out. Here's Schmidt again. Gets it in the corner. Back to the blue line. Valeris takes the shot. That goes off a player in front. Wide of the net. Colts get it to the line and out. Saginaw has to regroup. Glavin's going to send it back to Valeris. Here's Schmidt on the near side. That got by him. Kayshawn Aitchison will pick it up. Backhand pass to Passmore. Evan Passmore gets this one up to Salandra at center ice. He's going to dump it in. Around the boards it goes. Valeris picks it up here for Saginaw. Up ahead, Papoy will pick this one up, settles it down, sends it into the Barrie zone, but That was before the red line, so that means it's an icing call against the Saginaw Spirit.
Saginaw still at 13 shots. You see Edgar and Carter Lowe out there on the ice a minute ago. And well, for those guys, minutes probably cut a bit short today with only 11 forwards and Ethan Armstrong playing defense here in the second period. And then yesterday as well, Dylan Smoskowitz shortening the bench in the third period. And that's where that team chemistry comes in so huge is you need to be bought in and understand that to go on this run, there's going to be games for a guy like Carter Lowe or Eamon Edgar where they're not getting the minutes they want, but they still need to bring forward that best effort because there's going to be room on the roster next season for them to get some minutes. But if they don't put forward their best effort here, they're not going to be able part of the future plans.
Colts win the faceoff. Hanser's shot. Slander trying to tip that one in, but that goes wide of the net. Wilmot back to Hanser. Justin Hanser down low. Wilmot bounced over his stick. Slander after it. Schmidt sends it around, but it's picked up here by Slander at the blue line. Armstrong back to Gardner. Gardner has that one taken away, and the Spirit get it out to center. Gardner to Wilmot, laid off sides. He had to wait. Slander after it now along the boards. Saginaw with possession, get it out to center. Armstrong from his own blue line. Looks up, finds Hanser. Justin Hanser at center, dumps this one in. Around the boards it goes. Back to play it will be Harper. Harper sends this one up to Papoy. Papoy, though, facing pressure from Salandra, can't get it out. In the corner, Wilmot. Salandra trying to send this one around. Picked up now by Gardner. Gardner back to Eliasson, takes the shot, stopped by Shurigan. As Gabriel Eliasson had a lane down the middle and tried to take advantage of it.
Nice look there from Eliasson. Trying to get back on the scoreboard there. Does a solid job, but hasn't been able to fully develop that one-timer, I don't believe. But there's a ton of potential in that shot of Gabriel Eliasson trying to use that big frame and get some more goals here down the stretch.
Now, we do have a special guest coming up here in the second intermission. Saginaw Spirit General Manager Dave Drinkle will be joining us to have a conversation here in the press box. It'll be a live interview. Now, for Dave Drinkle, he does have a history with the Barrie Colts before joining the Saginaw Spirit. This is his 11th season.
11th year with the Saginaw Spirit now, but he got that role by being the Barrie Colts assistant GM a long time ago and took that experience, got the job here in Saginaw, and well acquainted now with head coach Chris Lazari, who's been here for 9 of those seasons, 7 as head coach. As Saginaw group, you look around before Dave Drinkle and Chris Lazari, I mean, there was only one banner in here. There's been a lot of banners added since those two have taken over the reins.
So an interview to look forward to in the next 5.5 minutes. As the Colts have it, here's Eliasson. His shot deflected over the net. Von Richter at the point, sends us on goal. It goes off Bodewin and wide. Battle in the corner. Shots now 31-13 for the Barrie Colts, as they have really shut things down here for Saginaw. Spirit trying to get it out. Zabeski was in the way. Now it's sent out to center ice, where it's picked up by Von Richter. Von Richter sending this one up to Zabeski. That's going to go down the ice. Harmer back to collect it here for Saginaw. Puts it to the corner. Zabeski trying to beat Valeris to the puck. Saginaw on the line, not out, kept in by Eliasson. He's going to put it to the far corner. Bodewin picking it up now for the Colts. Cole Bodewin, high slot, waits, fires. That goes wide of the net. Hemming couldn't get a stick on it. Colts get it back out to center ice. Eliasson from the neutral zone. We'll dump this one in. Around the boards it goes. Von Richter down low for Barrie. Into the middle, but no one there for the Colts. Saginaw now getting this one down the length of the ice. And that's going to be icing. As the Saginaw Spirit we're not seeing what we saw in that first period from this group.
Well, we talked about it. I mean, they were able to create offense, but the Barrie Colts, they've shut them down this period, and they've been a much better team here in the second. Saginaw had a solid effort in the first. Yeah, they give up a lot of shots, but now, though, they're not getting the shots they were getting in the first period.
4:27 left to go in the second. 2-1 for Barrie. Their goal scorers, Bodewin and Hemming. Puck goes behind the Saginaw net, picked up by Crombie. Back to the blue line, it's Aitchison. Doesn't take the shot, waits. Trying to keep it away from Cloutier. Aitchison gets it down low, goes around the Saginaw net. Kayshawn Aitchison from that tight angle, takes the shot, stopped by Shurigan. Emerton at the point, but the net comes off. As Jaden Newton, he was battling there with Josh Glavin, but they'll have to do a face-off.
Kind of negated Barrie's scoring opportunity there. They continue to create that pressure here on the Saginaw Spirit. And Saginaw, their last shot came before the Barrie Colts' first goal. Scrolling back, it was Nikita Klepov. He got a shot a minute 13 into the period. Saginaw with 3 shots in the first minute and 20 seconds of the period, and they haven't had one since.
And the Colts win the faceoff again. Shot from the point, stopped by Shurigan. And he's going to cover it up as we get some wrestling here. Valeris in the middle of it here for Saginaw, but now the Spirit able to make a line change with Shurigan holding on to that puck.
You know, if I knew we were getting brownies here in the press box, I wouldn't have gone so hard in the media room.
Well, the media room here at the Dow Event Center is known as the best in the OHL. You've never been here before, so what would you say?
It was really good. It was really filling.
And I told you you had to try the Jets pizza.
I did. It was really good. I got into the mac and cheese as well.
It was top notch. So the puck sent into there's a big collision. Kayshawn Aitchison throwing that on Barabanov. Puck goes down low. Emerton sends this one ahead. Crombie gets this one down the ice. Calvin Crombie pack after it. Schneid backhand trying to tuck it around. Shurigan with that poke check. Puck will come around. Saginaw moving this one ahead. Here's Barabanov. He'll send this one back. Klepov up the middle. Great work there. Schneid had it there for a moment. Now we're getting a whistle. And I think we're getting a penalty here. Looks like Jaden Newton is heading off. And it's going to be maybe for roughing. Jaden Newton does not agree with it. He is upset. But either way, the Saginaw Spirit ready to go on the power play.
This will be a big chance to turn things around here for Saginaw. Oh, now Newton's coming out.
I wonder if he's going to get an unsportsmanlike. Yeah, I think this is unsportsmanlike going to Jaden Newton. He was hot under the collar. So Newton, we won't be seeing him for a while, but this is the chance the Saginaw Spirit have been wanting to try and get back into this hockey game. As they're going to go on the power play here.
Dylan Smoskowitz getting an explanation right now. I don't know. It looked like he had the puck. Not sure what the penalty was for. Well, I was seeing the right hit.
Actually, it's not going to be a power play. It's 5-on-5 still. What?
Then what happened?
It's probably a match penalty. I wonder if Jaden Newton said something.
Yeah, but I thought he'd still get a 2-minute plus.
Well, that's my original thought, but it's 5-on-5. So Jaden Newton is sent off. Now we got Zabeski. He's having words for Zhilkin. Faceoff will come to the left of Ben Horebic. So Zabeski's going to take the faceoff here against Barabanov. It's 5-on-5. Newton sent off for unsportsmanlike. Manzer up to Bodwin. And now we're going to get a whistle, another penalty. And this time it's for a rough. So we'll see. It looks like Saginaw is going to go to the box now. So after all of that, now it looks as though the Barrie Colts are going on the power play. It's Igor Barabanov going off. I'm confused.
Well, they did say unsportsmanlike, so we did have that part right.
That right. But now Barabanov's going off for roughing. So the Barrie Colts, after all that, now they go on the power play.
Looking at the replay, you got Zabeski up top, I guess.
Well, Zabeski was having words with Zhilkin before the face-off, but either way, the Barrie Colts on the power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. Colts right now 1 for 2 on the man advantage. As Valeris will send this one down the ice. Here's Von Richter behind his own net. Parker Von Richter. He's going to drop this one back to Cole Bodwin. Bodwin through the neutral zone, goes to Hemming. Emil Hemming to Bodwin. Bodwin's tied up, side of the goal, but Hemming couldn't tuck it in. Aitchison goes back to Von Richter. Up ahead to Aitchison. That got away from him. Behind the net, Bodwin. Back to Hemming in the near corner. At the blue line, Von Richter waits. Side of the net. Bounced on Bodwin. He's able to recover. Kayshawn Aitchison now. Back to Bodwin. Side of the net. Bodwin trying to tuck it around. Shurigan's hugging that post. Back to Aitchison. Von Richter. Hemming. Back to Von Richter. Takes the shot himself. Shurigan the save. Puck's loose. It's in the paint. Carter Lowe jamming at it. But we get the whistle. As I think that puck was still loose, but Cole Bodwin was on top of that puck.
Bolga was going after it, and Barrie Colts getting right in that crease of Shurigan. Here to say, try and make it a 3-1 game.
1:08 still to go in the man advantage here for the Barrie Colts. With Barabanov right now in the penalty box. Cole Bodwin's going to take the draw here against Hannaran. Some last second instructions. Face off won by the Colts. At the blue line, it's Von Richter. Up to Aitchison. It bounced over his stick. Cole Bodwin behind the Saginaw net. Continues it to Hemming. Emil Hemming trying to go back to Bodwin. Jones got in the way. That's picked up by the Spirit. And they're going to send this one down the length of the ice. Hrebeck out of his net to play it. He's going to leave it there for Von Richter. 46 seconds left in the man advantage. Cole Bodwin through the neutral zone. Carries this one in over to Aitchison. Aitchison has it in his skates, trying to send it along the boards. Ends up in the corner. Jones gets to it first here for Saginaw. Lowe throws the hit, takes down a pair of Saginaw players. Hemming, high slot, back to Von Richter. Hemming, but that's deflected. As getting a stick in the lane there was Geldart. He'll send it down the ice. Hemming in the neutral zone, 20 seconds left. Taken away there by Geldart. Good shift here for him. Sebeski along the boards. Barnes trying to hold him up along the boards. Colts making a line change. Puck sent to the point, but no one there. That's going to sail back into the Barrie zone. 5 seconds left in the penalty. Up the wing. Here's Brad Gardner. Up ahead to Wilmot. Wilmot up the middle. Nice move there towards the net. Takes the shot. Shurigan gets a piece of it. Power play has come to an end, so the Barrie Colts now 1 for 3 on the man advantage. Colts still with it. Emerton's shot blocked in front. Jilkin was in the way. Puck's in the corner. Jilkin can't get it out. Kept in by Gardner. Here's Ben Wilmot. Fires. Stop. Rebound. Gardner again. It's bouncing around. Ends up behind the net. Harper trying to send this one around. Picked up by Barnes. Saginaw move it out. Saginaw player had his stick break. That was Barabanov, so he couldn't play it. Zveski has it behind him. He doesn't know where it is. He's knocked down by Harper. Picked up here by the Spirit. Jilkin turns it over, but Gardner couldn't keep that one in play. Puck's bouncing at center ice. Jilkin skates this one in for Saginaw. We're in the final minute of the second period. Jilkin sends this one around. Eliasson in the corner. He'll send this one back. Here's Brad Gardner. Gardner from the corner. That's high, and that actually hits the rafters right in front of us.
I got it.
You almost had that.
I almost had that. I had to be careful. I didn't want to scare anyone down there and fall on top of them. But Zabeski now fighting over in the corner there with Saginaw player. That's Harper.
Well, Mason Zabeski getting under the skin of the Saginaw Spirit. And it looks as though we've got at least one penalty here. I think it's...
No, Zabeski's coming too.
Okay, there he is. I was going to say, I think Saginaw is going to lose their minds if it's just one penalty here.
Well, Harper, I think he thought it first, man, because he was getting pretty frustrated. And got it all right now. A lot of roughing penalties, unsportsmanlike. I almost made a diving catch.
It wasn't far.
It was close.
It was right here in front of us in the rafters.
Brad was trying to give us a gift to head home.
Well, this is one of the interesting rinks because our press box is right up at the rafters. Great vantage point, though.
Yes, it's beautiful.
So face off to the left of Ben Hrebeck. 4-on-4. Wilmot will win this face off back. Aitchison to Von Richter. Von Richter sending this one ahead. Slander trying to get a stick on it. And that's going to be an icing call, so they'll bring this one back with 15.6 seconds remaining.
We're in the rafters here, and of course in Oshawa, we got to climb the rafters. And
yeah, we're actually in the rafters in Oshawa.
The rafters, on the rafters. And
I think Windsor's the same way. We're in the rafters there at the WFCU Center, and we're there in a month.
Yeah, a month.
A month until we're in Windsor.
Well, we'll be right back here.
Yeah, in this neck of the woods. Just not in the United States. Face-off won by the Spirit. James Go. Dropping it back to Klepov. Klepov along the boards. Comes back to the blue line. Gives it to Barabanov. Barabanov at the point, waits, fires, right on net. Hrebeck decides to play it, and he'll send it up to Aitchison at the buzzer. And now we got Barabanov going after Salandra. As Joe Salandra, he's also been getting under the skin of a few Saginaw players, and that includes Barabanov, went right after the Colts forward. And I believe it's just Barabanov who's going to be given a penalty here at the end of the second period.
Well, quite the finish. Barabanov went after him. Bodewin wants an explanation right now, so I'm wondering if Barrie may have gotten a penalty as well.
Well, with the way Bodewin's having a conversation with referee Blake Beer, it may be a penalty to both, but for the Barrie Colts, they've been getting under the skin of the Saginaw Spirit team. But what a dominant showing there. 35-14 are the shots now after 40 minutes.
Yeah, great effort by the Barrie Colts. Saginaw had one shot in the last 19 minutes there, and Barrie will look to keep it up going into the third. And no, they only got 2 goals, so it's still anyone's game right now. Kind of similar to last night.
So the Barrie Colts up by 1, and just a reminder, we do have Dave Drinkle coming in, the general manager of the Saginaw Spirit. So we'll have that interview in just a few minutes, but it is a 2-1 score here at the Dow Event Center. We're going to take a quick break so we can get Dave Drinkle here on the broadcast. So stay tuned for that, as it is a 2-1 hockey game between the Barrie Colts and the Saginaw Spirit.
Well, welcome back here into Saginaw. We're doing things a bit differently here. It's our first live interview on the channel, and joining me now is Saginaw Spirit General Manager Dave Drinkle. Dave, Mike and I have joked about you and I being in some fantasy leagues together. I know you maybe want to focus on the fantasy baseball league, but maybe we should talk about that first round exit in the fantasy football league.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a rebuild year for me, so I'll just digress that and focus on the baseball pool, which I seem to do pretty well at. So, no, it's been a lot of fun. Appreciate you putting those on, and always good to have banner back and forth.
Well, for you guys, it was a bit of a rebuild at the trade deadline here as well. You had to send out a couple of players down to North Bay as well, Spashinger Bay. And what's the future going to look like here in Saginaw?
Yeah, tough trade deadline. I think anytime you're moving away players, especially guys that you have a connection with, you've been around for a long time, Jerby and Nick, Jerby's been here 5 years, Nick 4, won a Memorial Cup together. It was a very emotional time, but at the end of the day, we want to do what was best for the players. And the best thing for them is go to a place that has a chance to win a playoff round. And the best for our young players was open up opportunity on the ice for them to get big minutes and open up a voice in the room for young guys to kind of take that new leadership role. And our young guys, to their credit, have done that. We believe we have a really good young core. We're extremely young. We're the second youngest team in the league, I believe, and second youngest in experience. We have 4 16-year-olds, 9 rookies, two first-year European players. So very, very young, but very talented. And, we're going to be in games where we win because we're talented, but we're going to, lose some tough ones because of experience and strength, etc. But it's all about getting them reps and prepared for what's going to happen down the road.
Now, for you guys, one of the biggest questions at the OHL trade deadline, of course, was would Michael Misa and Zane Perek return? And now, obviously, they're with their NHL teams right now. But was there a world where it's a completely different trade deadline for you guys, and you were actually one of the buyers at the OHL trade deadline?
Yeah, it was the most unique trade deadline I've been part of. I think going into World Junior, speaking to Calgary and San Jose, it was very much 50-50 that they both were going to come back. Depending on how they did in World Juniors and more discussion on at their level. So I had to do a lot of talks with teams of if they came back, if we were going to add to this group, what do we need to add? What can we give up in terms of picks? But I also had to have conversations the other way of moving out potential older players or etc. So there was a lot of potential deals on the table. And then once I got a firm answer, Calgary let me know, I think on the 28th of December, Zane wasn't coming back. And San Jose let me know on Mike as soon as they lost the Czechs in the semifinals, he'd be staying in San Jose. And again, very happy for them. Our job in the OHL is to get them to the NHL as quick as possible. In our mind, we got an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old into the NHL full time, and we've done our small part in that, and we wish them the best, and we move forward.
Now, for you guys this season, I mean, Zane Perek's almost already been replaced with the play of Levi Harper. It feels for you guys, you already have a lot of pieces in place with that top line of Barabanov, Zilkin, and Klepov, and then, of course, Levi Harper on the back end.
Absolutely. We drafted Levi. He's a late 08, right? We re-entered him into the draft. Brian Prout, my assistant GM and one of my main scouts, did a really good job identifying him in Shattuck last year. We actually wanted to draft him the year before, but he was so set on college that it didn't make sense. And with the rule change, we reopened dialogue back up with the family, and it worked out that he wanted to come and play in our league for a couple of years before going to Minnesota. And he's been dynamic. He's been impressive. He is very Zane Perek-like. Power play, that whole kind of offensive thing. And he showed a little bit of jam on the back end, a little bit of defending as well. So very happy with Levi, very happy with his progression. And again, the reps he gets now against the very strong Barrie team, for example, and Bode and these guys, it's only going to make him better next year moving forward.
Now, you mentioned the NCAA, that new rule change. What's that made your life like over the last year and a half?
Still, we won't really know for a couple of years. I think OHL and CHL GMs, it's kind of a work in progress. You're going to lose guys early. You lost Christian Epperson as a 19-year-old at Denver. Would have been one of the best players in our league this year, but decided to go early. But on the flip side, we got a Harper, we got a Roscoe, we got a Klepov, we got a Barabanov. All 4 of those guys would have went to school without the rule change. So, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to kind of prepare when you can, but I don't think it's the same where you look and get a bunch of good young players and build till they're 19 and win when they're all 19 because there's no guarantee they're here anymore. It's good for the players, but I do believe obviously our league's the best developmental league in the world. They should play in our league until they're through their 19-year-old year. And then if they're not in pro at that point, make a switch to college. But again, my opinion, everybody has a different path, but proofs in the pudding that we're a heck of a development league for young players.
Now, you've been here a while. Chris Lazari's also been here a while. And you guys, looking around the rink, you've added a lot of banners to this rink over the last couple of seasons, especially that Memorial Cup championship. What was that experience like? Not only getting to host Memorial Cup, but winning it in a game where you guys got the lead with 21 seconds left.
Something obviously I'll never forget. Me growing up in Ontario, boy, just north of Barrie and Elmville, following the Barrie Colts from their inception, the Memorial Cup. My grandmother billeted Barrie Colt players back in the 50s, and just something that is a dream come true. To be able to host it, I'm never going to go through an experience like that again. To be able to host it, to win in your own rink, to be in your dressing room with your team and their families after you win, to be on your own home ice and look up and see your now wife in the crowd and my friends here. And, Corey was here, for example, and to bring them down onto the ice. And Very, very special, very neat. When you're having tough years or years where you're reloading, you look up at the banner and you're trying to get back to that and build back to that. And yeah, Chris and I have added a lot of banners here, but it's not enough in our opinion. We still haven't won the Western Conference. We still haven't won the league. We've lost in the conference finals twice, and our goal is to get back there as quick as possible. And sometimes you have to go through years like this when you rebuild.
Now, for you guys, you mentioned that league championship. Obviously, still something you guys want to get done. Does that give you more motivation to get right back to what you've already done?
Absolutely. It's always a thing. Like winning's addictive. When we won the Memorial Cup, you get off the ice, you're at it the next day, and you just want to win again. You want to feel that feeling of, when Josh Bloom scored and how great that felt and the emotions that went into it. And you want to get back to it as soon as possible. And, I came close. I was assistant GM in Barrie and worked there for 9 years. And we lost in London with 0.1 seconds left in game 7. And that still hurts. We lost to Windsor. We lost, I think, 8 or 9 games all year and got swept by Windsor in the finals back in, I think that was 2009. So I've been close, but now that I'm running my own franchise here in Saginaw, like a little more extra special, and you want to win it. And it's all about they look right now. We had Hanrahan and Gelder, 2 16-year-olds killing penalties against Hemming and Aitchison and Bodewin. That's going to be tough for them now, but it's going to be better for them again moving forward. So it's all about development, but still trying to win hockey games, obviously, at the end of the day.
Well, you mentioned being born in Ellenville. Obviously, you've been able to kind of keep those roots with you. You guys brought the Memorial Cup there. You've had a couple practices in there. So even though you're pretty far away from Ellenville right now, you've been able to keep those roots with you throughout your years here in Saginaw.
Yeah, never forget where you came from, right? Ellenville's a very special place to me. My family still lives there. My best friends still live there. It's always going to be home. I get back as much as I can. My wife and I are renovating an old farmhouse right now and just outside Waverly, and that's going to be kind of our summer spot. And times we go back to visit my family. So I'll always have roots there. I'll always love that place, and I'm never going to leave it. It's always going to be my home, even though I'm relocated here now to Saginaw.
Well, Dave, thanks for doing this, and best luck to you guys the rest of the season.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
That's Dave Drinkle, the GM of the Saginaw Spirit. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
So it is the second intermission here from the Dow Events Center between the Barrie Colts and the Saginaw Spirit. Big thanks to Dave Drinkle coming on board to have that conversation. And I know you were eager to talk to him about fantasy sports.
Well, the fantasy baseball league went pretty good. He finished first. I finished second. But then fantasy football league, he lost in the first round. I was the 1 seed. I found a way to lose first round. So, yeah, we're going to keep focusing on baseball and, like
Go
you
from
said,
there.
rebuilding season. And, I liked his comment, too, about the landscape of the OHL and the NCAA now, because he mentioned, we lost a couple guys. Epperson was the big name, obviously, on the Denver. But there's a few guys on this roster, Barabanov, Klepov, Harper. Those were guys that weren't going to be here this season if it wasn't for that rule. He even mentioned Levi Harper. We wanted to draft him a year earlier than we did, but he told us, no, I'm going to the NCAA. And then all of a sudden, this rule change happens, gets back talking to him, and boom, he's a Saginaw Spirit, and he's the best rookie defensive player in Saginaw history.
Sets the record. Breaks the record there set by Zane Parekh. So we do have about 4 minutes left until the third period of play. So we do have the chat. So we'll go to the chat briefly after we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as a little bit of a busy night here around the OHL.
Yeah, 4 other games going on today, and every single one of them is very close. There's no blowouts going on right now. Brampton, as we mentioned, picking up that win over Oshawa 2-1. London up 3-1 on Erie with the third period just getting underway there. Sarnia and Flint tied at 2 after 2 as Flint Firebirds looking to get back into the win column. Owen Sound and Guelph tied at 2 apiece heading into the third period. And yeah, that's the out-of-town scoreboard. I keep thinking there's more games down below, but
there were 10 games last night.
There were so
Everybody
many
played.
games. It just kept going and going and going, and then tonight, 5 games. It's half the league, but still.
So it is the second intermission. Seeing the chat, Tammy says, okay, in the third, Barrie will score 2 or 3 more goals and win it. I believe in them. So a lot of confidence there from Tammy. We've got Adam who's joined the chat with a Go Colts Go chant. And then Historic Maddox? Maddox.
Historic.
We are apologizing that we're butchering the name, but giddy up Colts is what he's saying.
Giddy up. Some new faces in the chat tonight. And it's, I know we've been watching the views. It's been one of the better streams yet from a viewer's standpoint. So we obviously appreciate that, and it helps us going forward with sponsorships and being able to keep coming out on the road. Because if the viewership's not there, the sponsorship isn't going to be there, and then we don't really have a way to come out on the road. So keep up the viewership, keep up the commenting. We love responding to the chats, and it's been really fun here through the first 3 quarters of the season.
Well, we've also had some supers to support. So we had the coffee fund that was building there. Sunday afternoon in Brantford, and then we had one person do a sticker.
LC.
Yeah, LC.
Very happy with that one goal.
Yeah,
there.
The goal sticker. So it's been kind of nice. We do have 3 sponsors for the broadcast, Frontline Hockey Apparel, Mariposa School Skating, and Craighurst Crossing. So without sponsorships and even viewer support, we wouldn't be able to go on the road. But it's been a great run so far. Appreciate everyone tuning in as we get ready for this third period of play. Cinematics. There we go. And he says that's 88 pass for household favorite. Also, number 53, Wilmot, is a good human and great player. I love that.
Well, and that's part of, especially part of junior hockey. It's not just about building a good player. It's about building a good person on and off the ice, and that's what the Barrie Colts obviously wants. And yeah.
Yep. So it's we're getting ready for the third tier of the play here, and Liam also saying, dudes, you need to put super goals up. Sing "O Canada" if it reaches super goals. You could sing "O Canada."
I would if someone sends.
Oh no! Careful what you say.
What am I not allowed to say?
Say it.
Okay,
Go for it.
If someone, let's say, $100.
$100.
I'll sing "O Canada."
Wow. So you heard it.
Yeah.
If we raise $100, they'll sing "O Canada." I didn't know it was going to come to this.
Well, anything from broadcast.
Well, there we go. You're a team player. And we also have Rob saying, great work, guys. Thank you, Rob, for your support. Thank you for tuning in. And You know, we enjoy being on the road. We've done the entire season so far, and we weren't sure about this Michigan trip. We didn't know how it was all going to work out, but we've made it work. And Adam's saying, I'm going to my birthday game, so that's awesome, Adam, that you're going to your birthday game. And then Tammy says, don't forget, next Saturday home game is for cancer. Yes, it's going to be a great cause for that one, and it's going to be actually nice to be back at the Sadlin Arena after 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's been a while. We have a couple of these road trips where it feels like it's been forever since we've been at home. It's kind of weird because on the road we're on our own, but at home there's a bunch of the Rogers crew usually talking to us, but it's just you and I here for the weekend, and then Gene is going to join us on Friday night and probably Sunday as well up in North Bay. Got 2 more road games next week, and then 4 weekend home the weekend after that.
And I think my wife's going to be excited to have me home more than being always on the road. January has been a very busy month when it comes to the travel.
It's just me and my dad at home, and anytime he can get me out of the house is okay with him. I think he'd have 68 road games if
I noticed he was pretty excited for you to be on the road. So the third period is underway. The Barrie Colts are on the power play, presented by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. It's Barabanov in the box as a result of the incident at the end of the second period. It's for a rough. Colts right now moving it in the Saginaw zone. Cole Bodwin quickly to Aitchison. Goes back to Bodwin. Cole Bodwin at the point. Aitchison, one-timer, stopped by Shurigan. He had Carter Lowe parked in front. Kind of gave a glare there to Carter Lowe.
I give him a little tap from behind. The Barrie Colts, they like to antagonize these teams down low, and they drew a couple penalties there late in the period. Zebesky and Harper going together to the box, and then that extra power play right at the end here going to Barrie.
Quick chance. Carter Lowe fired it through the 5-hole of Shurigan, but it goes wide of the net. As the Colts doing a great job in the face-off dot as they move it around in the Saginaw zone. Hemming back to Bodwin. Here's Kayshawn Aitchison back to Bodwin in the high slot. Down low to Hemming. Hemming from the corner. Back to Aitchison. Doesn't take the shot. Goes back to Bodwin, but that pass doesn't connect. Great work, Bodwin. Keeps this one in play. Cole Bodwin at the point. Goes to Aitchison. Across to Hemming. It is a 4-on-3 situation, by the way, as Aitchison comes back to the point. 28 seconds left in the penalties to the first 2 as Bodwin fires, and that one's deflected out of play. And we'll get a whistle.
Shorogan getting that one with the paddle there. Colts doing a nice job working the puck around there. Set up a good opportunity there for Cole Bodwin. They'll switch things up and different guys out there on the ice.
So it's Zebesky and Harper who are going to come out of the penalty box in 23 seconds, and then it will be a 5-on-4 situation for Barrie as Gardner gets set to take the draw against Harper. Face-off won by the Colts. Von Richter has it at the point, rides the line, goes to Salandra. Salandra pats it across. One-timer scores! Brad Gardner. Tic-tac goal. And the Colts, they've extended the lead. It's 3-1.
That Gardner left wide open there right at the face-off dot. And pretty easy to get that one home for Barrie Colts over age 4. Back-to-back nights with power play goals. And minute and a half into the period here is Shorogan. He's in the middle of the net. Didn't have time to slide across to get to Gardner. Wilmot with the screen probably delayed his reaction there. And now 4-on-4 for 15 seconds.
What a shot from Brad Gardner. That's now 23 goals on the season. And Gardner staying out there to take the face-off against Barabanov. So the Colts have started to take control of this hockey game. They win the face-off, ends up deep in their zone. Von Richter is going to take it behind the net. Von Richter, he'll skate this one ahead. Finds Joe Salandra. Salandra through the neutral zone. Enters the attacking zone. Drops it back to Gardner. Gardner back to Eliason. It's now 5-on-5. Eliason shot. Stopped by Shurigan. Jilkin picks it up the side of the net. Damian Jilkin scored the opening goal of the hockey game. Drops it there for Levi Harper. Harper dropping it to Barabanov. That pass goes off Harper, who fell. Salandra up the ice. Deflected into the zone by Schneid. Ends up behind the Saginaw net. The Spirit moving this one around. Barabanov receives the pass. Gets by Salandra. Barabanov across for Klepov. Klepov trying to get around Eliason. Eliason driving him behind the net. Barabanov comes up with it for the Spirit. Barabanov along the boards. Ben Wilmot digs this one free. He'll get it out. Harper kicks this one back to Klepov. Barnes ahead for Zhilkin. Here's a lane for Klepov. Klepov goes across. Barabanov, what a blocker save by Harebic. And Harebic diving across. Looked like a sure goal for Saginaw, but it remains 3-1. Now it's Klepov coming down the wing again. Takes the shot. Glove save, Harebic. He thought about playing it, but holds on. But my, oh my, Ben Harebic, outstanding.
Oh, man, what a play there by Harebic. They're showing the save of the game on the board right now, and it's for Shorogan. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny or it's just quite comedic timing there. What a save by Harebic. Somehow sliding across to get that one with the blocker on Barabanov.
What a save. Kluche fires it off the draw. That's going to go out of play. But Ben Harebic, he hasn't been that busy here tonight. 16 shots his way, but he seems ready.
I'm sure Harebic wouldn't mind facing some more shots coming off that tough game against Brantford. As we take another look at that save, just extending all the way, throwing the stick basically in the air. So hard he came across. Wilmot trying to get back, can't get there. As Liam says in the chat, that guy's elastic.
That's a great point, Liam. I love it. He is elastic with the way he makes those saves. And he's looking good in those new pads. Puck sent down the ice. Barnes back to play it here for Saginaw. Goes behind the net, takes a hit from Lowe. Puck's in the corner. Spirit trying to get this one out. Along the boards, Kluche sends it ahead, picked up by Carter Lowe at his own blue line. Lowe, he'll skate this one up, reaches center, dumps this one in, near corner. Barnes after it here for Saginaw. He's going to send this one around. Kluche trying to get a stick on it. He's run into by Zabeski. Zabeski is just throwing his weight around. We've seen this now for the last couple of nights. Saginaw, long pass. Harmer dropping it back to Hannaran. Hannaran, though, can't hold on to it. Cole Bodwin will take it back the other way for Barrie. That's batted into the zone by Barnes. Around the boards it goes. Glavin sends it up to Stewart. Stewart turns it over to Zabeski. Here is Kayshawn Aitchison. He's shot and sure again with a nice glove save. He had Cole Bodwin parked in front, but he's able to make the glove save.
They mentioned Mason Zabeski there, laying another hit. And Coach Moskowitz mentioned it in his interview with the team last night. He leads the team in hits and blocks since the trade deadline. So Mason Zabeski, he's not afraid to lay the body. He's not afraid to get in front of rubber. And that's the type of player you want, especially going into the playoffs.
And we'll be actually catching up with Mason Zabeski on Friday night when the Barrie Colts visit the Brampton Steelheads. As that'll be Zabeski and Von Richter's return to their former team. And we'll have that broadcast for you at 7 o'clock. Live stream underway at 6:45. So hit subscribe so you're notified when that broadcast gets underway. Saginaw right now forcing it up the ice. Geldart sends that one wide of the net. Armstrong there to play it. Drops it back to Aitchison. Aitchison facing pressure there from Bode Stewart. Puck's in the corner. Picked up here by Saginaw. At the blue line, Valeris takes the shot. That's going to go wide of the net. Near side, Geldart trying to keep it away from Hemming. Puck's taken away by Aitchison. Up the ice. Here's Cole Bodwin. Bodwin, he'll skate this one into the Saginaw zone. Hits the brakes. Colts are making a line change, and the Spirit will take it away. Here's Papoy. Along the boards, puts that one off the glass. Down the ice, Saginaw will now make a line change. Von Richter in his own zone. Puts this one across. Picked up by Wilmot. Ben Wilmot, nice move, but Zhilkin came back to take it away. Delayed offside against Barrie. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the third period as Zhilkin just sends this one down ice. Barabanov beats the icing and takes the shot. And Ben Harebic, again, able to make the save.
Nice look there for Barabanov. Gets around the defense, has an open lane to the net there. Harebic able to make the save. And like we mentioned earlier in this game, Saginaw, you give them the chances here this period. They're going to be able to come back. Barrie Colts may be able to take a lesson from last night. Don't give up yet. It's never over until it's over in the OHL.
Face off to the right of Harebic. Gardner taking the draw against Barabanov. 15:05 still to play in this third period. Face off won by the Colts. Puck's in the corner. It's just sitting there. Colts move this one ahead. Gets to the line and out. After it is Wilmot. Ben Wilmot gets it on the near side. Hits the brakes. He's tied up by Harper. Colts move it across. Salandra in the high slot. Goes to the corner. Reaching for it is Hanser. Hanser gets it down low. Gardner trying to send it around, but that was blocked. Picked up by Harper. He turns it over behind the net to Wilmot. Wilmot from the corner to Gardner. Gardner gets it back to Wilmot. Ben Wilmot comes back to the point. He'll set things up here for the Colts. Takes shot, scores! Ben Wilmot! It was a screen sure again, and Wilmot takes advantage, and it's 4-1.
Well, nice shot there by Wilmot as second line getting a goal here. Brad Gardner got one to start the period, and now Wilmot adding on here to extend Barrie's lead to 4-1, and now an opportunity over the next 14 and a half minutes to shut this game down for Barrie and make it a perfect 4 points here on the road trip.
So that's now 19 goals on the season for Ben Wilmot. What a pickup at the trade deadline from the London Knights as he snipes that one home. Colts send this one deep into the Saginaw zone. Barnes is there to play it. Taken away by Crombie. There's a hard hit by Carter Lowe. Took Jones into the boards. Puck's at the point for Emerton. Emerton, near side pass. Moore takes the shot. That's blocked, bouncing around. Picked up by Schmidt. He'll send it up to Rosa. Rosa across for Harmer. Harmer getting by Emerton. Puck's in the corner. Emerton takes him into the boards. Schmidt's there for Saginaw. Taken away by the Colts. They send this one across. No one there. Drones drops it back. Rosa at the point. Barnes sends this one down low. Jones is after it. Emerton gets to it first. William Schneid along the boards up to Calvin Crombie. Crombie through the neutral zone. That's stolen there by Schmidt. Schmidt ahead for Harmer. No, doesn't connect. Colts take it away. Zabeski comes off the bench. Mason Zabeski over to Bodwin. Bodwin's got speed from the corner around the Saginaw net. Cole Bodwin across. One-timer stopped by Shurigan. What a chance there for Emil Hemming. Another chance. Shurigan the save. Puck goes behind the Saginaw net. Zabeski's hauled down, and that's going to be a penalty. It's going to be for a hold as things have gone from bad to worse for the Saginaw Spirit.
Zabeski getting under the skin there of Glavin and draws that penalty as Glavin came in from behind, wrestled him down to take that penalty. So we reached the TV timeout, and I've been keeping an eye on the chat. And you and Ben Horebic are similar. Liam says he does a black coffee before every game. You're just like him.
See, I love the black coffee because you get the proper taste of the coffee.
I wonder if Horebic spills as much as you do.
One time, that was
twice.
And both times are in Sudbury. And you and Gene don't let it go.
We don't. But then Gene spilled coffee.
He did. Gene did it. And you just spilled your pizza all over your press kit.
I get pizza sauce all over the media kit, but when I get a coffee, it goes in the mouth, not on the jacket.
This is the things we do behind the scenes. Everyone, you're welcome as you've been informed as to how things happen and operate before we get ready for a broadcast.
We spill our coffee, we spill our pizza.
Barrie Colts on the power play, presented by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. As the Saginaw Spirit put this one down the ice, Barrie already 2 for 4 on the power play tonight. Parker Von Richter comes out from behind the net. He's going to drop this one back to Bodwin. Or make that email Hemming. Hemming trying to go over to Bodwin. That's poked away by Hannaran. Colts forced back to their own blue line. Von Richter ahead for Aitchison. Dumps this one in, but that's going to be a delayed offside. And we'll get the whistle, and they're going to take this one back.
Barrie obviously in a 3-goal lead here. They're in a pretty good spot, but you add one more, it feels like you've really shut things down. 4-goal lead makes it pretty insurmountable.
Well, outside of the game last Sunday in Brantford, the third period has been pretty solid for the Barrie Colts. Yesterday being a huge example of that against the Flint Firebirds.
Yeah, that seems to be where they shut those games down.
Puck goes behind the Saginaw net. Roscoe trying to get a stick on it. Spirit with it. Glavin back to Valeris. Valeris sends that one wide to the net. Off the boards. Skeldart's there. Geldart trying to play it around the boards. Von Richter dropping it back to Emil Hemming. Hemming over to Bodwin. Back to Hemming. Ahead for Aitchison. Hemming sends this one around. That's going to escape the zone. Ends up all the way back into the Barrie end. 57 seconds left in the man advantage. Parker Von Richter is being chased there. Wilmot comes back to collect it for the Colts. Wilmot moving this one up. Reaches center. Wilmot through the neutral zone. He'll skate this one in around Jones. Wilmot, stop behind the net. Saginaw get it to the line. Not out. Kept in there by Emerton, but now the Spirit will send it down the ice. Back behind the net, Ben Horebic. 30 seconds now left in the penalty. Colts drop this one back. Here's Calvin Crombie. Crombie skates this one in for Barrie, going around Jones. In front, no one there. Is taken away by Zhilkin. And the Spirit get this one down the ice. 13 seconds left in the penalty to Josh Glavin. Picked up now by the Colts. Skating it ahead as Zabeski's got momentum through the neutral zone. Zabeski drops it back to the point, but Wilmot couldn't get there. As Glavin now coming out of the penalty box. So the Barrie Colts now 2 for 5 on the man advantage. Puck sent around the boards. As the Saginaw Spirit put this one down ice. And that's now going to be an icing call. And they'll bring this one back with 11:06 remaining. So the Barrie Colts have the momentum right now, out shooting Saginaw 42-17. Outside of what happened in the first period where we saw Saginaw just firing pucks on net, they controlled that opening frame, but really since then, it's been a dominated game here by this Barrie Colts team trying to sweep their trip through the state of Michigan. Had that come from behind win last night in Flint, and right now put up 4 unanswered. Shot on goal, stopped by Shurigan. Edgar trying to put it in front. That was blocked. Here's Newton, his shot blocked. Gets it again in the corner. Jaden Newton takes a hard hit in the corner. Schneid's there trying to get to it. Passmore fires that one wide of the net. James Go trying to get to that loose puck. He will. Flips this one out and down the ice. Kicked there by Edgar. And Edgar got a skate on it as Zhilkin sends this one forward. Gabriel Eliason back to Passmore up the wing. Tipped into the zone by Edgar. No icing. Ends up back behind the Saginaw net. Spirit with possession. Here's Zhilkin. He'll get this one out for Saginaw. Hannaran through the neutral zone. That went off his skate. He's able to recover, but he's forced to skate back to his own blue line. Hannaran reaches center. Sends this one forward. Skates into Newton. Colts take it away. Gabriel Eliason. He's doing laps in his own zone as the Barrie Colts right now complete a line change. Sent ahead. Here's Bodwin. Cole Bodwin sends this one deep. Salandra after it here for the Colts. Behind the net. Bodwin gets a stick on it. Ends up in the corner. Cole Bodwin with possession. Around the net. Roscoe trying to get a stick on it. Puck sent to the blue line. Hanser near side to Armstrong. Puts it across. Sets up Bodwin. Cole Bodwin from the corner. He'll go around the Saginaw net. Stays with it. Cole Bodwin does a lap and then trying to go back to Hanser, but that gets by him and down the ice. Hanser leaving it there for Bodwin. Bodwin's got Klempov on his back. Play continues. Salandra has it at center ice. He'll carry this one in. Joe Salandra down low, hits the brakes. Still with it. Back to the blue line to Hanser. Justin Hanser waits. Across. Von Richter doesn't take the shot. Parker Von Richter down low to Justin Hanser. Hanser trying to put it in the crowd. That goes off his skate. And the Saginaw Spirit will get this one out. Von Richter with it now as we're approaching just 9 minutes left to go in this third period. The Colts up by 3. As the Barrie Colts have really taken charge of this hockey game, really limiting Saginaw's breakout opportunities as the puck goes deep in the Barrie zone and they pick it up once again. Carter Lowe gets this down to the Saginaw blue line, picked up by Go. Harper on the near side. He'll send this one into the zone, picked up by Von Richter. That pass is deflected. Loose puck chasing after it is Lowe. Go gets to it first. Papoy skates this one in for Saginaw. Trying to hold on to it. Kayshawn Aitchison can't take that one away in front, but Carter Lowe took that opportunity away. Saginaw, though, keep it in. Harper, he's knocked out into the neutral zone. Harper takes a hard hit there from Carter Lowe. As Lowe throwing his weight around right now. Puck ends up back behind the Barrie Colts net. 8:15 to go now in this third period. Kayshawn Aitchison coming up from behind the net. He's tripped up, turns it over, gives it to Zhilkin. Backhand, stopped by Horebic. Damian Zhilkin in a battle there with Emerton. Sends it back to the blue line. Glavin across, finds Valeris. Valeris, his shot blocked. Good work there by Zabeski. Loose puck picked up by Emerton. He's going to get this one out. Valeris in the neutral zone. He'll play this one forward. Barabanov drops this one back to Zhilkin. Damian Zhilkin, he'll dump this one in. Takes a weird bounce. Klepov can't get to it. Spirit keeping in. Valeris up to Barabanov.
Barabanov along the boards, comes back to the point, drops it back there to Klepov. Klepov cuts to the middle, takes the shots, and there was a stick in the lane, and that's going to go out of play with 7:35 remaining.
Oh, good work there by the Colts. Not letting Saginaw get anything to the net there. And a couple nice blocks, and then Klepov nearly had a nice opportunity. Not sure if Barabanov just lost the puck there, if he just didn't get all that pass, but a bit of a weird moment.
The Saginaw Spirit trying to get back into this hockey game, but it's quite the difference when it comes to the shot clock, 43-18. And there was a time in the start of the season where it was the opposite. The Barrie Colts were always giving up 40 shots or more.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot early in the season, but the Barrie Colts continuing to improve their play. They've slowly but surely kind of ticked off the flaws in their game as they work towards the playoffs.
Saginaw getting this one down the ice. Gabriel Eliasson will come back to play it for Barrie. Eliasson being chased there by Klepov, drops it to Passmore. Passmore taken to the boards by Zhilkin. Rugby scrum now in the near corner, deep in the Barrie zone. Passmore can't hold on to that one. Barabanov back to Go. James Go over to Harper. Harper gives it to Barabanov, keeps this one in. He's got pressure there from Crombie. Crombie pushes him out of the zone. Great work there by Calvin Crombie. Back at the blue line, that's Barabanov. Sets this one up to Zhilkin. Zhilkin dumps it in. Eliasson will be the first one on it here for the Colts. Sends this one around. Here's Calvin Crombie. Crombie up the middle. That'll escape the zone. Knocked down at center ice by Harper. Carrying it in, Hannaran. Hannaran takes the shots, but that's deflected out of play by Passmore, as we're now down to 6.5 minutes remaining here in the third.
Well, it's interesting looking back on that start of the season, and for Barrie, I think the three biggest things that were flawed in their game: the penalty kill, the discipline, and the shots against. And just slowly but surely, the penalty kill starts getting better. Okay, that's ticked down. Now you got to worry about the discipline. You got to worry about the amount of shots you're giving up. Well, they get more discipline. They start playing better, not taking as many penalties. All of a sudden, it's okay. Now we got to limit the shots, and the Barrie Colts have done a good job at limiting shots over the last couple of weeks. And part of that does have to do with the discipline as well. When you give up 7 power plays a night, you're bound to allow a lot of shots against. But when you're not, those shots get a bit less on the total for the opponent.
Here's a chance now for Bodewin, and he misses that far post. Great rush there for the Barrie Colts in their transition game. Puck's now in the corner. Eamon Edgar, he's able to pick it up. Back to Hanser, one-timer. That's going to go wide of the net. Bodewin gets this one to the corner for the Colts. Bodewin in front. Edgar trying to get a stick on it. Decides to pass it. Goes off a skate. Hanser to Bodewin. Bodewin down low. Across to Armstrong. That goes over a stick. Saginaw, they get possession as Geldart will send this one down the ice. Hanser's going to pick it up here for the Colts. Justin Hanser up ahead to Bodewin. Bodewin doesn't enter the zone. He had Papoy in the way. Hanser will dump it in. Ends up behind the Saginaw net. There's Barnes to play it now for Saginaw. Barnes takes his time as both teams make changes, and that pass is deflected out of play with 5.5 minutes remaining. And you touched on the disciplined play by the Barrie Colts. And when you look at how this game has been, just 2 power plays for the Saginaw Spirit, and those power plays were both at the start of the hockey game.
Yeah, first 10 minutes of the game, the Colts went shorthanded twice. They're able to kill off both those penalties. They give up the 1 goal, obviously, but since then, it's been a near-perfect game for Barrie. Only 7 shots against. They haven't taken any penalties. They've drawn a few penalties as well, as they're now on to 4 power plays on the night. This Barrie team, they continue to roll night after night. I mean, outside of a bad 20 minutes against the Brantford Bulldogs, they've been as close to dominant as possible over the last couple of weeks and months, and they continue that play. And they're top 10 in the CHL power rankings, 4th in the OHL power rankings, and they keep playing like this, they're only going to climb.
And if this score holds up, they're going to move within 3 points of Brantford and Ottawa at the top of the Eastern Conference standings. As this Colts team getting the job done. Saginaw win the faceoff. They're going to dump this one in. Von Richter back to play it for the Colts. Zabeski comes up with it for Barrie. Breaches center ice. Ahead to Salandra. Looked like it was nearly offside. Puck rolls behind the Saginaw net. Glavin gets this one ahead. Papoy, backhand pass. Up to Hammer. Harmer, he'll put that one wide. At the blue line, Glavin.
Ends up back behind the Barrie net. Colts pick it up. It's Parker Von Richter leaves it for Zabeski. Aitchison after the loose puck in the corner. He'll send this one forward. Hemming trying to get it out of the zone. That puck now sent out. Von Richter chasing after it. Von Richter carrying it in for the Colts. Drops it back to Salandra. Joe Salandra along the boards. Ends up in the corner. Picked up by Hemming. Harmer puts this one across. Saginaw will get it out. Popoy. He's just going to put this one on net, so no icing. Hrebeck, he's going to leave it there for his defense. Both teams making line changes. Emerton up the wing. Salandra gets a stick on it, so no icing. Harper takes a hit there from Gardner. Puck goes behind the Saginaw net. James Go with possession. He's got some space. He'll put it across to Harper. Harper, nice little move there. Passes it across to Zhilkin. That doesn't connect. Cole Emerton comes up with it for the Colts. Hands are long stretch pass. Wilmot bats this one into the Saginaw zone. No. They're going to say he didn't touch it, so it's an icing call, and they're going to bring this one back.
A big matchup in the OHL tomorrow. Sault Ste. Marie taking on Brantford. Sioux obviously wanting to get that first win of the road trip, 0-2 right now, and if they could ever get that win and help out the Barrie Colts tomorrow, and all of a sudden we're going into Monday only 3 points back if you can hold on to this game.
So the Saginaw Spirit pulling Stephen Shurigan. So it's an extra attacker on the ice. So an empty net here for Saginaw. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Here's Harper at the point. Goes to Barabanov. Barabanov back to Harper, but that's going to escape the zone. Saginaw has to regroup. Harper sends this one across. Picked off by Carter Lowe. Empty net. Takes the shot. Misses the goal. Wilmot on the far side. Fans on the shot attempt. Harper's going to go back behind his own net. Levi Harper gets to the blue line, drops it back to Barabanov. Barabanov picking up momentum through the neutral zone, drops it back to Klepov. Klepov trying to get around Wilmot. Puck goes to the corner, back to the point Harper. Levi Harper with possession, waits, goes to Barabanov. Barabanov to the net, takes the shot, scores! Picks off the corner, they have the traffic in front, and it's now a 4-2 hockey game.
Nice shot there by Barabanov, and still 3:20 to go. Saginaw, they still have life in this game. It's not over here at the Dow. And nice play here. Pass across to Barabanov. Steps up. Lowe tries to get in front of the shot, but he's able to work his way around and goes top corner there on Ben Hrebeck. And Barrie Colts, they're not going to be able to coast through these final 3:20. Saginaw, they got a good offense. Good top heavy offense as well. So as long as those top guys remain out, they're going to have a chance here over the final couple minutes.
Igor Barabanov, his 20th goal of the season. Shurigan back in his net. Right now, he's keeping an eye on the bench. He's going to make his way for the extra attacker. So don't go away yet. Saginaw's making this game close, or trying to. Kayshawn Aitchison with an empty cage. Goes for it. That's going to go wide of the net. Puck goes behind the Saginaw net. No icing. Bodewed putting on pressure on Barabanov. Nearly took it away. Harper gets to his own blue line. Puts it across to an open wing. Barabanov after it. He's going to send this one forward. Harmer can't get to it. Zhilkin gets it in the corner for Saginaw. Sends it behind the Barrie net. Von Richter trying to get a stick on it. Here's Popoy. Drops it back. Harmer behind the net for the Spirit. He'll send this one over to Klepov on the far boards. Nikita Klepov back to Barabanov. Decides to pass it. What a save again by Hrebeck. We saw that save earlier this period. It's like copy and paste here for goaltending with Ben Hrebeck. Saginaw, though, still with possession. Barabanov puts this one over. Klepov back to Barabanov. Klepov, one-timer, and that's going to go wide of the net and ends up out of play as the Saginaw Spirit really stepping things up here in the final couple of minutes.
What a save there by Ben Hrebeck on Zhilkin there. And Saginaw gets that one. They have well over 2 minutes to work with in a one-goal game. Ben Hrebeck, a huge save there. Those two huge saves. Without them, it's 4-4.
The goalie still pulled here for Saginaw. They win the face-off. Harper at the point. Down low to Klepov. Nikita Klepov in the corner. Drops it back to Harper. Near side Zhilkin doesn't take the shot. Zhilkin to Barabanov. Barabanov across. Poked there by Hemming. Von Richter after the puck in the corner. Saginaw get it again. At the blue line, it's Harper. Barabanov on the near point. Waits. Goes to Zhilkin on the near side. In front. That's blocked. That was Kayshawn Aitchison getting in the way. Puck goes in the corner. Picked up again by Klepov. He's taken to the boards by Von Richter. Colts can't get it out. Bode went after it. Papoy took it away. Barabanov gets it again for Saginaw. Over to Klepov. Quick pass. Papoy stopped by Harevic. Puck goes to the corner. Bodwin with it. Empty net. Takes the shot. Blocked by Harper. Harper up to Barabanov. He'll enter the zone for Saginaw. Drops this one back to the point. There's the shot. Papoy stopped by Harevic as he's holding on. And the Saginaw Spirit getting chance after chance here.
Well, credit to Saginaw. They've continued to fight in this game, but maybe one too many passes there on that one opportunity. I think Klepov probably should have just shot it when he tried to pass it to Papoy there in the slot. And Harevic swimming across, but was able to get into position for the Papoy save.
Face-off won by the Colts. Gabriel Eliason gets this one down the ice, knocked down by Salandra, but we'll get a whistle as they're going to say it was touched by a high stick. So we'll get another face-off with 1:10 remaining.
That was close. Eliason trying to flip it down the ice, and Salandra knocks it down, trying to get an opportunity at the empty cage, but played with a high stick.
Faceoff's going to come outside the Barrie blue line, but Shurigan staying on the Saginaw bench. Puck will be into the zone. Schneid comes up with it. Can't get the shot to go. It's deflected. Klepov after it. Schneid knocks him down. Battle in front of the Barrie Colts bench. Trying to move it is Wilmot. They continue to jam at it. Picked up by Saginaw at the blue line. Harper up to Zhilkin. Zhilkin along the wing. Hits the brakes. Looks back. Zhilkin still with it. Fires, deflected. Harevic the save. They jam at it. Puck's loose. And they get the whistle. And then the Saginaw player knocked over. As that's Harmer standing in the crease. Carson Harmer trying to get to that loose puck.
Desperation time for Saginaw now. 44 seconds. Colts will go back to Cole Bodwin and Emil Hemming. This time Brad Gardner going to join them. Puck did come loose. So Harevic even took a bit of a shot at Harmer.
44.4 seconds left on the clock. Face off to the left of Ben Harevic. Face off won by the Colts. Here's Kayshawn Aitchison. Sends it to the empty cage. And that goes wide in the net. And that's going to be icing against the Barrie Colts.
Colts come close a couple times with those 100-foot shots here, but not been able to find the back of the net. Or redo things here. 38 seconds to go.
Well, now they want to have the face-off to the right of Ben Harevic. Carson Harmer is going to take the draw for Saginaw up against Brad Gardner. Last second instructions as they set things up. Scrambled draw. Puck ends up in the corner. Von Richter finds it. Sends us down the ice. Knocked down by Harper. Here's Cole Bodwin. Empty net. Takes the shot. But what a play by Harper as he knocked that away. But I think they're going to call this offside against the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, Bodwin hesitated and Hemming ended up just a bit over there.
Well, Shurigan's going to come back into his net with the faceoff coming outside the Saginaw blue line. 30.3 seconds now left on the clock. Harmer taking the draw against Bodwin. Won by Saginaw, but it wasn't done cleanly, so we're going to do this one over again as Bodwin's going to be tossed out. So in steps Brad Gardner. Faceoff won again by Saginaw. Spirit move it up. Von Richter, though, he'll put it deep into the Saginaw zone. Harper back to play it. Leaves it behind the net. Zhilkin's there. Avoids the hit from Bodwin. Even Zhilkin passes this one up. Deflected. Klepov at center. Shurigan trying to go to the bench. Not about to the face-off dot. And then hesitated. Barabanov enters the zone for the Spirit. He's going to send this one deep. Aitchison gets this one to the line and out. Empty nets. It goes wide. Bodwin's going to beat out the icing. But it doesn't matter as the Barrie Colts, they'll come here into Saginaw. They sweep the trip through the state of Michigan and win this one by a final score of 4-2.
Well, great effort tonight from the Barrie Colts. The shots 43-23 in favor of Barrie, and it could have been much worse if it wasn't for that late game push by Saginaw. Those final 4 minutes, the Spirit put up a nice effort trying to get back in this game, but just too little too late for this Saginaw group, and No, that's a young group trying to compete here in the OHL, and right now 6th in the Western Conference right now. And I don't know about you, I was pretty impressed with Stefan Shirogan in net. I mean, obviously it's going to be tough for them to win a playoff series with that top 4 in the Western Conference, but get goaltending like that, they're going to have an opportunity.
Well, you need to have solid goaltending if you're going to win in the playoffs, and we saw that tonight as Ben Hrebeck. You mentioned at one point, if it wasn't for those 2 massive saves from Ben Hrebeck, this is probably a tied hockey game, and we're looking at overtime, much like last night against the Flint Firebirds. So, yes, the Spirit, they also have Shurigan, and that's a good sign for their future. But even for Ben Hrebeck, what a night here again. And I liked in the comments, Liam said he's like elastic out there.
Yeah, a couple of crazy saves there for Ben Hrebeck. He wasn't too busy, 21 of 23, but at the end of the night, those 2 huge saves, they were basically identical. I mean, both on the blocker, both sliding way across. And I mean, what an effort by Ben Hrebeck. And you almost take some of those saves for granted because he just does them so often. I mean, those are 2 huge saves, and they may not even be his best save of the season.
Well, that's just it. We're starting to get used to these big saves from Ben Hrebeck, and his highlight reel from the season is going to be like at least 10 minutes long with the amount of saves we've seen from him this year.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to that game against Oshawa, that insane save that, everyone was calling that day the save of the year. Well, Hrebeck added 2 more candidates of his own, and he's so huge to the Barrie Colts, even when it's not the huge save. I mean, there's been so many amazing performances. He's had some big ones against Niagara, even in the game Barrie lost against him this season, 62 of 57. He's one of the busier goaltenders of the OHL, and Barrie Colts, like we mentioned, they've been able to calm down those shots again, so he's been getting less busy as of late, but he still makes the big saves when the Barrie Colts need them.
So our 3 stars presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities, new homes minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm. Now the 3 stars of the game, your 3rd star from the Saginaw Spirit is Damian Zhilkin. He had the opening goal of the hockey game. That's when Saginaw was really in control of this game in that first period. They had that 1-0 lead. Your 2nd star from the Barrie Colts, Cole Baudouin, a goal and an assist. And then the 1st star from the Barrie Colts, Brad Gardner. So 2 out of the 3 stars coming from the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, I think those are pretty good star choices. Not much to complain about there. Ben Hrebeck had a really good game, but didn't face too many shots, 21 to 23. And yeah, it's another nice win for the Barrie Colts. And Tammy says she'll think about doing that $100 donation.
To get you to Single Canada.
I think we should add to the super goals. Is that what we're calling them?
I think that's what we're calling them,
super goals. We're going to come up with a number that we have to get to by the end of the season, and I am volunteering to throw a pie in your face.
Wow, we're getting to that level. So anyways, let's focus on the game at hand here. So, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, it's another big win for the Barrie Colts, and keep plucking away. The division's now at 18 points right now. You get closer and closer to clinching, and I'm sure that'll be a relief, something off their shoulders. And you're only 3 points back of that first place spot in the Eastern Conference, and a Sioux win tomorrow would go a long way for the Barrie Colts if they want to keep up in this race. Brantford and Ottawa, they do have a game in hand on Barrie, so if they're able to take advantage of that game, the differential gets a bit wider.
And, of course, the Ottawa 67s, another team Barrie's trying to catch. They're at the top of the East. They're playing Sudbury tomorrow afternoon. So, Colt fans, keeping a close watch on the out-of-town scoreboard tomorrow, both Brantford and Ottawa in action. But our next broadcast will be Friday nights from the CAA Center in Brampton. The Barrie Colts make the trip to visit the Brampton Steelheads. We'll have that call at 6:45. The live stream gets underway. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. So if you're not subscribed, click subscribe so you're notified when the live stream gets underway. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in here this evening. I think this has been one of our best broadcast viewership-wise. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in as, we're in that final stretch towards the playoffs.
Yeah, it's getting close, and hopefully the viewership only continues to pick up and up and up as we head towards the playoffs, because I think fans are going to want to tune in, because this Barrie Colts team is looking really good right now, and they look destined to compete. And, a lot of people believe that the Brantford Bulldogs are similar to the London Knights last season, but I think there's some other teams in the OHL, and the Barrie Colts are one of them, that are going to say, hey, we can be just as good as the Brantford Bulldogs, and we're going to give you a run for your money. You mentioned that game against Brampton on Friday. I mean, Barrie Colts, they can't take Brampton lightly. They're coming off 2 straight wins. Maybe they use that momentum, get them going. They're getting the desperate hockey. They're only down 2 points to the Sudbury Wolves, and as well, the last 2 games against Barrie were pretty tough for Brampton, so I'm sure they're going to be looking for revenge.
Yeah, so we'll see what's in store next weekend. It's a 3-3. So in Brampton Friday, home to North Bay on Saturday. That's Adam's birthday game. So happy birthday ahead of time, Adam. And then they're in North Bay Sunday afternoon. So a busy 3-3 against 3 Central Division opponents. So that's going to do it for us here at the Dow Event Center. It's a 4-2 final for the Barrie Colts over the Saginaw Spirit. For Josh McCann, I'm Mike Poirier saying so long, and we will talk to you again soon.